All right, go ahead.
Welcome to Cook for Two Live. If you've heard that cooking for a small household is easy, fewer people, less work, you know that's not always true. Recipes are designed for 4 to 6 people. Grocery stores push family-sized bulk packaging, and your leftovers pile up fast. Today, we're cooking for two in real life. We're doing 5 dinners designed for 2 people and sharing strategies and tips along the way. I'm Christine.
I'm Marty.
Let's get cooking. So I am starting with a lasagna recipe, which might be a little surprising as something to make for 2 people. But the key here is that we're going to be doing it in a loaf pan like this. So it's just the right size for 2 people. And the prep that I'm doing is really, really easy so that you can get this together in like 10 minutes, get it into the oven, and then the oven does the rest. So I'm mixing together 1 egg with a cup of ricotta cheese, and I am going to actually put the date on this package of cottage cheese right now so that I don't forget when I opened it. I'm actually going to be using it all today, but in normal life, you don't cook 5 dinners in one day. So that is going to go. Actually, Marty, can you show the live cam for a sec?
Sure.
Or the face cam? That's going to go at the top of my fridge here. I tend to put things up here that I want to use first and remember to make use of so they're at hand when I need them. And that's one of the keys. Everything is packaged too much for 2 people. There's always too much for the recipes you need. So making sure that you have a place for those perishable items and are keeping them ready to use is key. Okay, so I have this ricotta and the egg here.
By the way, we have some people saying hello from Texas. We have some people, yeah, we have a few different people. Someone is teaching a 2-session course on cooking for two for a local university, senior
Oh,
education program.
fun. Hello out there.
Oh,
So,
hello from Montreal.
hi everybody. We're excited to see you. This is our first ever live, so I am just going to be honest and say I'm feeling a little shaky, a little nervous. Things are not mixing the way I'd like them to, but that is okay. So we've got the egg, the ricotta. I'm adding about a 1/4 cup of shredded Parmesan cheese to here. I'm using a rasp to grate that into there.
It's a rasp because my understanding is it's a rasp because the teeth are really fine, as opposed to like a grater or something like that.
Oh, interesting.
I mean, I think that's that. I think so. I'm certainly not an expert.
You know, Marty is actually, Marty, why don't you tell them what you do for a
Oh,
living?
I'm going to switch it to face cam for a moment. I'm actually a professor over at the university, so I teach math. So this is a very different topic for me. So actually, my role here is to know nothing about what we're doing, so that I can so that I can ask the questions. Honestly, I think maybe you guys know a lot more about cooking than I do, but hopefully I'll ask questions that aren't too dumb. But anyway.
No, you're not going to ask dumb questions. Here, go back to here. I just put the garlic powder into here, a 1/2 teaspoon, and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt is what I need. Oh, and if you want to follow along with these recipes, we have the recipes and the meal plan and a grocery list over at cookthestory.com/sample. So you can go and get that. It's free. You don't even have to give us your email address or anything. Just go and get that. And you'll see the recipes and the meal plan and the grocery list. Okay.
By the way, someone online calls the plate a microplane, the
Oh,
grater,
I
the
have heard
rasp.
that too.
All
Yeah.
right, microplane.
Zester maybe too. Okay. What else do I need to do here? Okay, this ricotta is now done. I am going to be using 1.5 cups of tomato sauce, which is 2 8-ounce cans. If you actually already have some tomato sauce open in your fridge, Then you would just measure the 1.5 cups. If you don't, I love having these small cans because they are just the right amount. In this case, I need 2 of them, but quite often I only need 1.
Jacob, thanks for the vote of confidence. I'm doing my best to know nothing.
Hi, Jacob. We have so many wonderful friends and family tuning in today, and I appreciate you all so much. You've been really encouraging for all this time that we've been preparing to do this. Okay, so I've got 2 of these here, and I'm going to add, instead of dirtying a bowl, I'm just going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of Italian seasoning to each one and set those aside. We're going to need them later. Now, I said 1.5 cups of tomato sauce, but actually, if you are using oven-ready lasagna noodles, you're only going to use 1.25 cups. If you're using regular lasagna noodles, then you'll use 1.5 cups.
You're making that right in the can, huh?
Yeah, so I don't have to dirty a bowl.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. Huh.
Oh, take every chance to not wash dishes that we could get, right?
Fair, absolutely.
Okay, so I am going to get out some chicken sausage. Oh, I got it out already. So what I'm using here is, these are fully cooked Italian style chicken sausages. This isn't a sponsor or anything like that. I just really like the flavor of these. And like I said, this recipe involves, trying to get the lasagna into the oven. Oh, I have to turn the oven on. Hang on, everyone.
Chicken sausage though? Usually beef, right?
Oh yes. Okay, yeah. Good question, Marty. See, you know all the good questions.
I mean, I've eaten lasagna. I know how to eat lasagna.
You know how to eat lasagna, yes. So yeah, so what I'm doing here, okay, this is not opening. 1 second. I like to use this because it is already fully cooked, so I don't have to take the step of frying up the, oh my goodness, there we go. I don't have to take the step of frying up the beef or whatever meat. This is just ready to go. They also keep for a really long time in the fridge in that package, so they're good to just kind of have on hand. But you absolutely could use a cooked protein here, like cooked ground beef or cooked, probably chicken thighs shredded. I wouldn't go with chicken breast. I think it's going to dry out in the time that that's all cooking for. And you're going to want, you know what, the recipe says somewhere, but I'm going to just double check how much you're going to want. You'll use about a 1/2 pound of cooked meat in small pieces if you have cooked meat, or you can actually use a can of beans. I like the white cannellini beans for this. You would just open the can and drain them and use them instead of this meat.
So hey, Jacob's pointing out that lasagna for 2 is kind of unusual.
Thank you, Jacob. Yes, it is unusual because you usually make a big pan of it, and I think that's one of the things. Like if you're cooking for 2 all the time, you end up missing those comfort foods that would normally be on your menu. And you don't want to make them necessarily because you don't want a massive pan of leftovers. As I said at the beginning, your freezer is filling up with leftovers, your fridge is filling up with leftovers. You don't want them. And so you don't make lasagna. And I think that's sad. We don't get to have lasagna if we're cooking for 2. But with this recipe, you can, because we're making exactly 2 portions. I'm going to say they're big portions because you're going to want a lot of it because it's that delicious. But they're just a little bit large portions, not huge, but just 2 portions in the loaf pan. It would normally take about 10 minutes to put this together, but I'm going a little slowly because I'm yappy.
That's
So wait, hang on a second. We are going to start layering now. We have everything we need to layer this into the pan. I'm just flipping pages on my thing you cannot see. Okay, so if you're using the oven-ready lasagna noodles, which is what I am using, something like this, then you're going to do a 1/4 cup of sauce each time. If you're using regular lasagna noodles, then you'll do 1/3 of a cup. So we're going in with a 1/4 cup of sauce and then 1 of those noodles. Oh. I like these noodles in particular because they just fit exactly in the loaf pan like that. I think
Yeah.
that's
They're
really
like
nice.
made for two.
Yeah, exactly. They're made for two.
Hmm.
Okay, so we're doing a layer of sauce and then a noodle and then a layer of sauce. And then we're doing about a third of our ricotta mixture, which did finally mix together. My shaky hands. And just kind of do your best. As this heats in the oven, it's gonna like splooge all down, melt down, and become more even.
I'm not a master chef, but that is a technical term, I assume.
Splooge? Yes, splooge is a technical term. I used to be a linguist in a former life. I should have a definition for it. I do not. Okay, splooge. Splooge. Okay, I am gonna switch to a spatula here. When I was in cooking class back in 7th or 8th grade, our cooking teacher used to call these little spatulas her friend. She would say, "Get out your friend," and we all thought she was nuts and weird. She was a good cook and a good teacher, but the friend thing, I now think of her all the time because I use those little spatulas like just all the time. Okay, ricotta, and then where are we here? Sauce, noodle, sauce, ricotta, noodle, more ricotta. Wait, did I already do two layers of ricotta?
No, one layer.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty
I
sure,
think I
yes.
did too. I think I did too. Sauce, noodle, sauce, ricotta, noodle, ricotta. Oops, take that out of there. And we're going to put half of the sausage here.
By the way, for you guys watching, there's about a 5 second delay between what we're doing and what you guys are seeing. So if sometimes we'll get your comments a little late, but you know.
Are they telling us how many layers of
No,
ricotta?
no, but I'm 5 second late, and it might.
Okay. So I just did sausage, sauce, and then we'll add that noodle. Oh, sausage, sauce, noodle. Now the last third of the ricotta goes on there. The rest of the sausage goes there.
So do you prefer
Sauce.
the chicken sausage over the other types, or?
You know what? I have not found this kind of like Italian flavored sausage that is other than chicken sausage, the fully cooked. You could use some other fully cooked sausage like a kielbasa. I know you love kielbasa.
Sure,
It would not taste like lasagna anymore.
Oh.
It would have a smoked sausage.
Or like an andouille or whatever.
Yeah, you could go with any of those sorts of things. Okay. That is all the sauce, all the ricotta, all the sausage. Everything is in there now. What we're going to do is wrap that in double layer of aluminum foil. We really, really, really want to trap the steam in here because that's going to help it cook. So you're going to do 2 layers of foil. Like that. And then I'm just going to say, I usually put this onto a pan because I'm worried about it boiling over. It doesn't. It does not end up full enough. But you know, I just get nervous about that, and I don't want a big mess in my oven.
And there's probably no downside to putting it on a pan.
No, it doesn't. No, it does. I mean, I guess I just got something on there, so you'd have to like wash it.
But that's better than washing the oven.
Better than washing the oven. So this is going into a 400-degree oven.
So, oven's off over there, guys.
Oh, yeah, I was at the oven over there. So it's going into a 400-degree oven. I am just going to say, though, you know what, I'm going back to the oven to find something and show you. Oven thermometer. Pot. Oven thermometer. Oh, you're going to do there?
Sure.
Oven thermometer. Very important. It tells you how hot your oven is. And mine is notoriously about 10 degrees under. And so I set this for 420 instead of 400. Set this at 420 instead of 400, and then I know for sure that it is hot enough. If you have an oven thermometer, use it. It's going to save you so many times. Okay, we are moving on to a salad to serve with this lasagna. This is Marty's favorite salad.
I'm actually a big fan of salads in general. Thanks, Mom.
He does.
That's your fault.
Hi, Leia. He does love salad. He really does. This is an extra garlicky salad, and it's super delicious. And I have some tips for making the right amount of salad for 2 people. And it's going to be that you are starting with your salad bowls that you want to eat out of.
Someone has a question about the lasagna. They're asking, would 1 layer of heavy duty foil work? I assume instead of the cookie sheet.
I actually think, underneath it?
Perhaps, yeah.
Or did they? I think they meant 1 layer of aluminum foil
for the top.
on top instead of the double layer. I think so. Just make sure it's sealed really well all the way around. That's what the 2 layers do, is you get a tighter seal. It's more about the seal than about how heavy the foil is. So just crimp it real good. Make sure that the steam is being trapped in there, and you'll be good. Okay, salad.
So yeah, I didn't used to like salad, but my mom kept giving me salad. So one day I just started craving it. I'm sure we'll talk about that when we see some cauliflower. Not that
there is going to be cauliflower in a moment.
Oh, will there? Oh, there you go. Again, thanks, Mom.
Okay, so I leave the camera where it is because I want to show everybody what I've got here. This is one of my favorite things in my kitchen. I mean it. This is my go-to tub. I just use one of these plastic containers like spinach or spring mix like this. And inside of it are all the little bits of vegetable that I've cut into that I want to remember to use. And there's often herbs. There's a half pack of dill in here. There's our little baby carrots here. Chives that, well, I guess sometimes the go-to bin doesn't work and you don't get to everything. But the chives there's a few salvageable chives in here.
I cut the tops off, I guess, yeah. I'll eat them.
And then all sorts of other little things. So when I start cooking, as soon as I'm going to start doing anything to do with vegetables, I pull out the go-to tub and start from here. Instead of cutting into something new, I can always find these things. So I'm going to use these items to build our salad. I need a cutting board. Just going to rinse the one that I had before and flip it over. Okay. So what we're going to do to start first is the basics of the salad dressing here. It is a little bit of red wine vinegar. There's no measurements on this. A little bit of red wine vinegar in there. A little bit of olive oil. A little bit of honey. Or you can use balsamic vinegar, or a balsamic glaze works too. Little bit of honey, and then we're going to whisk that together. I love a flat whisk. If you don't have a flat whisk, you don't know what you're missing. These are not the balloon whisk. See, it's flat. Just gets to the bottom of things really good. It's like a really good fork almost for whisking this kind of thing. And then I need another, what did you say? Microplane?
Microplane, I think, is our. I'm gonna look that up while we're.
Okay, you go for it. Learn things. It's always fun. Okay, I'm taking a garlic clove. Oh, the peel just came off of that one. Easy. That never happens. I've left the little nub on the end. That's what I'm going to hold on to. And then I'm grating the garlic right in there. Now, I will often say that when a recipe calls for garlic, double the amount of garlic. I don't recommend this for this recipe. From experience, we had our friend Sabine over for dinner a couple weeks ago, and I decided to double the garlic, and she ended up calling the salad the garlickiest salad that the world had ever seen. She did have seconds. It was still good, but it was very garlicky. So this garlic is going into here, and whisk that up, and then we're going to set this aside while we get our veggies ready. So we have our go-to tub. I've got some bell pepper, some tomato, and some red onion. So that's a good basis for the beginning of a salad. I keep these things in little sandwich bags in my go-to tub, and I even actually, I'll show you, keep more sandwich bags in here. But you can use plastic wrap.
Carla's commenting on the whisk, by the way. Yeah, I see her use these flat whisks all the time. She's got like metal ones and plastic ones.
I have like 10 of them. I have the one that I was just using on that dressing was like silicone, so it can be used in a non-stick skillet or whatever, but I also have metal ones. I only own like one traditional balloon whisk. I almost never use it.
Balloon whisk? Is that it? Huh.
I think that's what a normal whisk is called.
Okay. I guess most people would just call them whisk.
Yes, you only have to differentiate if you have something else, and I have the something else. I have the flat one. Okay, so I am putting all of the hard veggies, anything other than lettuce, into one of our salad bowls, and then I know we're going to have a really hearty, veggie-packed salad because I'm not starting with the lettuce. You start with the lettuce, then you run out of room, and then you don't get all the goodies, all the goodness. Carla, who was just talking, I know she calls them goodies. I know, oh, there was a cucumber in my bin too. How perfect. Sweet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you like cucumber.
Yep.
Yeah, Carla calls them goodies. I think my mom calls it goodness, the goodness at the bottom of the salad.
So yeah, my background is Polish, and of course, a good Polish salad should always have cucumbers in it.
Oh, yeah, you're right. A good Polish salad would always have cucumbers in it. And I've got a little bit of red onion. I'm going to say another thing about this go-to tub that I am obsessed with is it's right there on the counter with me. So when I am done getting all these various veggies ready, I can just put them back into that tub. I don't have to walk back and forth to the fridge, and the tub can be put away. I am actually going to take the tub to the fridge, and I'm going to grab that cauliflower you wanted.
Again, this is another thing, another consequence of my mom's tasty salads. She would feed me these salads year after year after year with some nice dressing on them, and one day I just started to like them. And then I'm like, I came to her house to visit. I'm like, I want some salad. Give me some cauliflower.
Give me your cauliflower. Must have cauliflower. Okay, so this bowl is like, we eat big salad, so that's not quite enough for us. So I'm gonna add a little cauliflower. I should not have put the go-to tub back because I'm gonna need it to put these bits of cauliflower in.
Sure. And I'll break that cauliflower down for you.
I think I'm okay, but thank you.
It's kind of fun. It's like a test of strength.
Test of strength, breaking apart the cauliflower.
Yeah, it's kind of fun.
Okay, you're funny. What did I do? Okay, no humans were hurt in the making of that crash. Okay, so maybe I should have you do this cauliflower. I don't think you have a cutting board over there.
I was gonna tear at it with my bare hands.
You were gonna tear at it with your bare hands.
Oh yeah.
I guess that works. I have this whole knife process that I'm using.
Sure. Use tools like a human.
So I'm just going to break up some of this cauliflower into our veggie bowl, and then the rest of it, that's not going to fit in one of those
It's like a brain.
Sandwich bags that I had. I have the produce bags from the grocery store. I'm going to put that in there, and that's going to go into my go-to tub. And did I grab the zucchini? This is a veggie packed salad, y'all. Oh, I had to wash it. Okay.
Oh yes, yeah. Jacob, you have to fight the bear first, so you can take its hands, so that you can then use them to cut up the cauliflower.
I don't know what is going on. Okay, and some zucchini into there, and I'm gonna put the rest of the zucchini into the go-to tub. Okay, now I really am done with this for this recipe.
Right.
Thank you, sweetheart. Okay, so now we have a bowl of these veggies. That is going into our garlicky salad dressing there. And mix that up. The flat whisk is not the ideal tool for mixing salad. It's not doing terrible. Just tell you how good it was, and then I'm like, get something else. Okay, then into the other bowl, or the same bowl, it doesn't really matter. trying to only dirty 2 of them. I've got some butter lettuce here because on day 2 of the meal plan, we're doing some shrimp lettuce wraps. So that'll be the next recipe that I'm doing. And I'm going to want to use this butter lettuce for those. So I want to take now the smaller ones, the smaller leaves that aren't going to be great for the lettuce wraps, and use those up. So 1 head of lettuce is getting double duty here. Take those from the middle and try to leave 1, 2, 3, 4. That should be enough there for tomorrow. Now, Marty, I'm going to hand that to you.
Sure.
I'm going to say that if I'm doing a big salad with lots of lettuce, I would get out my salad spinner, but this is just a tiny bit. So I'm going to rinse these off and just dry them on some paper towel. And that should be good. You do want, yeah, the butter lettuce has those little bits of dirt on them. You want to get that, and you don't want a wet salad. So, and you can wash the salad lettuce ahead of time, but it doesn't keep as long if it's wet. So I like to kind of do it as I go.
I think if the water freezes, it damages the leaf, right? Is that what's going on?
I'm not sure. So I'm just putting some lettuce
let us know.
into here. It's not very much lettuce, but it's still going to be a good salad. Okay. So then that goes into the bowl. Yeah, I guess that butter lettuce head didn't have as much in it as I was hoping for. I'm going to get some tongs. By flat whisk. Okay, now we have the salad. Not very much lettuce, I'm afraid. It's just not a lettucey salad, but it's still going to be delicious because of all the other yummy goodies in there. Now, if there was more lettuce, I would be telling you that the strategy to make sure that everybody gets equal amounts of goodies and lettuce is to go from one bowl to the other. So you put some in one bowl and then into the other bowl, and you go back and forth like that. I did not set the timer for the lasagna. It needs to go into that 400-degree oven for about 30 minutes. So
you started at about 207 or so?
207?
That's my best guess.
Okay, well that's good. Okay, so these salads are going to be ready for when our lasagna is ready. That is going to be one of our dinners, but we're not going to wait for the lasagna because that would take way too long. We're going to start on the next recipe. Do you want to maybe have our faces up here? I am just going to tidy up a tiny bit. And Marty, we're going to have shrimp lettuce wraps.
Oh yeah, right on. That sounds good.
I didn't tell him what we're making today.
No, it's a surprise to me. That's part of the goal, part of the effect is I don't actually know what we're going to make today.
He does not know what we're making today, only I know. So shrimp lettuce wraps are yummy and delicious. They are kind of Asian-y flavored. And like I said, they're going to use that same butter lettuce that we just had for the salad. So that is great. These are the recipes. They have my notes on them. But if you go to cookthestory.com/sample, you'll get these recipes and the meal plan and the grocery list. And I am just following directly from those. So we are actually going to start with some quinoa, which is going to be going into these lettuce wraps, and then we're actually going to have it later in the meal plan on another day. So I'm making enough quinoa for 2 days to start. If you don't like quinoa, I understand lots of people don't like it. You can use just rice or farro, however you want to call that. That would be great instead, just whatever like carb grain you want to have. We're going to do the quinoa. So did you have a question?
No, someone's reporting that you put the lasagna in the oven at time spot 13 minutes in. So it should be ready. Thank you very, very much. So it should be ready at 43 after.
Professor Marty, what is 30 minus 13?
17.
17 minutes.
But okay, yeah. Well, I was gonna say yes. It'll be ready at 47. But okay, fine.
Okay.
Fair, because the timer needs a timer, not a.
And to be clear, the lasagna is not going to be ready in 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, we take the foil off. We add cheese. on top and it goes back in. So if anybody is like listening and being like, you cannot cook lasagna in 30 minutes, you are correct. It's going to be in there for longer than that.
And you can't cook lasagna without cheese.
Yeah, you need to have cheese on top, right? Okay, so let's switch to, no, it's fine. They know what quinoa looks like.
My mom's telling me to eat my salad, so I.
Is she?
Oh yeah.
She's commenting on the video? Oh, that's so nice. Oh, you're gonna eat your salad now?
I do like them.
Okay, you go for it. Eat your salad. I am measuring 3/4 of a cup of quinoa, which is going to be enough for us to have a little bit in our shrimp wraps. Oh, okay. I'm actually, yeah, you switched to this camera. That's good. So there's the quinoa in there. I'm actually going to rinse this for a good couple of minutes under a stream of water. So here, go over here. There is a substance on the outside of the quinoa grains. It's called, oh, brain. It's called like saponin, something like that. And it's very bitter. And it's like a light powder. And I suspect that a lot of people don't like quinoa because of that saponin. Can people hear me over top of the water talking?
The microphone's registering voicing, so.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. So yeah, so you really want to rinse the quinoa off. And if you've had quinoa before and thought you didn't like it, I'm not promising that you're going to like it if you rinse it first, but it's worth a shot, right? Okay, so I have rinsed that. It's going in there. And we are putting 1.5 cups of water into there as well. 1.5. And we'll do a little bit of salt too.
People are reporting they can hear you just fine.
Oh, thank you, everyone.
Though Jacob says that they can't hear the water.
Oh, interesting.
I think the microphone's filtering it.
Yeah, it thinks it's like some kind of static background noise, and so it's filtering that out. I get it. Okay, so this is going to go into, just gonna get these little bits down here. This is Smilo, everyone. Smilo the spoon. You probably know him from my social media videos. I'm Cook the Story, as you know, on social media, and I often have my happy little spoon. Okay, so that.
Jacob wants to know the difference between quinoa and couscous.
Oh, yeah, quinoa is actually not a grain. People call it a grain. It's a seed, and it's just little seeds. Whereas couscous is actually made from flour, a certain kind of flour. Couscous is
I don't know.
You're gonna look that up?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So and they taste different. Couscous is a little drier, I find, and it cooks more quickly. Although quinoa is actually very quick as well. I'm putting this on the stove.
By the way, before I look that up, the microplane is a particular brand of rasp that makes rasps. So microplane, so it's another one of those genericizations.
Oh, I see. Here, I'm moving this.
Some people call it a microplane, some people call it a rasp. Rasp is the generic term, microplane is a brand name.
Okay, great. So I'm gonna bring the quinoa up to a boil, and then I'm gonna let it simmer for a few minutes, and then I'm gonna turn it off, and it will just finish in time. And I am going to do something a little fun. I think it's fun. One of my favorite new kitchen tools is a water boiler. It is this guy over here. And it just has near boiling water in it all the time. And so I use it for tea and coffee, of course, but also for cooking pasta, like anything that you need water for, hot water. And I'm going to cook frozen shrimp in there. So the frozen shrimp are going to go into a pot of water that just boiled, take it off the heat, add the shrimp, and they stay in there for 8 to 10 minutes, depending on the size of the shrimp and how many are in there and how big the pot is, how much water there is. And they're cooking gently in there. And it's so quick if you already have the boiling water. I'm going to find the shrimp.
I'm looking up couscous for you guys.
You're looking up couscous. Okay. So these are peeled and deveined tail off shrimp. And so they're going to be super good in the lettuce wraps. We're not going to be dealing with any tails or anything in there. I'm getting these. I'm going to get the boiling water from my water boiler.
You'd think it's, yeah, I guess she got this thing. I thought it was like for tea or whatever, and it does make good tea, but like it really, the advantage of it is it lets you have boiling water immediately, so you don't have to sit and wait for it to boil on the stove.
I use it for all kinds of things. You know what? The first like week that I had it, I was constantly coming up with new ideas. Instant oatmeal, it's just instantly hot
Hmm.
water.
Hmm.
Tea and coffee. I make homemade cold brew, so I have my cold brew in the fridge, and then I just add this hot water, and it's ready to go. We actually had a really hot water tap in one of the houses that I grew up in with my parents. I don't know if my parents are watching. If you guys are
Oh,
watching,
yeah.
hi.
I saw your mom around. I saw your mom around.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
hi mom. Okay, so that is really hot. I'm just gonna let it come up to an actual for sure boil, and then I'm gonna add the shrimp. A moment to tidy up over here.
Oh,
Oh,
sorry.
what's that?
What's on her face now?
Oh, okay, on our faces. Thanks for telling me. It's a little bit of a learning curve figuring out where to look and what is being shown at any given time, but we're getting there. We will have this mastered by the end of today.
Sure.
That would be great. Okay, that's gonna need a minute. I am going to get the go-to tub back out because these lettuce wraps, they're gonna have, well, it's gonna be the lettuce and then the shrimp and the quinoa, which I almost just called couscous. The shrimp
Thanks,
and the
Jacob.
quinoa, and yeah, thanks, Jacob. And some veggies from the tub. In this case, we're gonna go with some bell pepper and what did I have written down here? Green onion and cucumber. I think I used all of the cucumber from what was in here before, and I used the bell pepper. Oh, so I'm going to start new ones of those.
Um, we have a question.
Oh,
When I moved to an apartment, we lost our gas stove, and after nearly 40 years, I'm having to use an electric stove.
oh,
Burners take longer to heat up and cool down. Do you have any tips for me?
I feel your pain. I really do. I love the gas stove, and the brief time that I had not a gas stove when I first moved to Orlando was tough. I don't think I have tips for this.
Well, I mean, certainly the hot water, certainly, of course, that's not the only thing you make on the stove, but certainly that speeds that up because this water is pretty much ready to boil at any moment. So you put it on the whether it's an electric stove or a gas stove, it's going to boil in like a second.
Yes, that's a good idea. I actually remember when this was happening to me that one of the most annoying things, I'm just gonna come and look at this actually. One of the most annoying things was like making rice or something. It would come to a boil and I'd turn the stove all the way down and it would still be boiling and it would boil over all the time. So for stuff like that, I would hang on, I have to turn this quinoa down. For something like that, I would actually move it to a different element and then turn that one on low. And that's how I dealt with when I wanted it to drop down more quickly, was to change the element, which it's just annoying, right? It's like you have to relearn how to cook because your stove is so different, right? Okay, what are we doing here? I'm gonna wash this pepper. We're gonna get some veggies ready for our
Semolina.
Durham wheat semolina
Yes.
flour. That's
Yeah.
what it's made of.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Your mom says it is a pasta, which I think yes. Yeah. Yeah. Of course it is. But yeah, I think it's made of Durham wheat semolina flour.
Okay, so couscous is durum wheat semolina flour. Semolina flour is often used in pasta. And then, of course, you get the really fine grains of couscous, which is what I'm picturing that looks kind of like quinoa. But then you also get that stuff called um, Israeli couscous, pearl couscous, the little
Oh.
balls.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Those are like formed into balls. That's what that is. The same flour, but in a slightly bigger shape. Okay, we are gonna want for the shrimp bowls.
Sorry about that.
Oh no, you're good. Oh, thanks, sweetheart. We want julienne vegetables. I do not have enough room. There we go. Spin that around. Okay, so we want some julienne cucumber, which is just fancy for thin strips. I'm trying to picture in my head as I do this, having like the right amount for the two of us, because one of the things when I do these kinds of wraps or fajitas or tacos with toppings, it's like I forget that it's just the two of us when it's just the two of us, and I make as much as I would when all the teenagers were also here. So just trying to think, we're probably going to have 4 lettuce wraps each and maybe 2 slices of cucumber per lettuce wrap. So we want like 16. We don't want any more than that. But this cucumber, my friends, is going into a bag in the go-to tub. I'm overly delighted with the go-to tub, I have to say. Okay, so we have some cucumber. I'm going to put these on a plate as I go, and then we would assemble our shrimp lettuce wraps from there. Okay, the water boiler should be, the water's boiling for sure now. So let's come over here. I'm gonna move the couscous out of the way where it will be fine. Not couscous. I just called it couscous.
Thanks a lot, Jacob. You've broken it. You're welcome.
You've broken me. Okay, I have turned this element off. We don't want to boil the shrimp, okay? That will make them awful. We want the water to just stop boiling. Just stopped. I don't want it bubbling at all. And we're going to add the shrimp to there and then put the lid on. And same idea. I'm counting in my head. It's like 3 shrimp per lot. We need 3 times math, please.
Oh,
8.
what?
24. About 24 shrimp. I know I ask you and then I do it myself.
Jacob is now trying to start an argument between couscous and quinoa.
Oh.
I think he's on the couscous side.
Oh, I'm not a huge fan of couscous, interestingly. Okay, so the shrimp are still frozen, but they've gone into this very hot water. I'm putting the lid on, and they're gonna take, they are small, they're medium-sized shrimp technically. They're gonna take about 8 to 10 minutes, and they're gonna be warm, they're gonna be plump, they're cooked gently, which is just great. And then, you know, I love having these bags of shrimp in the freezer. They seal and are always there for a quick protein. So we'll put those back in there. Lay that. And I'm gonna wash my hands because I was thinking the shrimp. Oh, okay. Hello. That is my face. What's that?
I'm gonna brighten. I'm gonna go brighten it up a little bit.
Oh, well, we're having like dark storm stuff happening in Orlando today, so it's getting dark up there. Oh, my mom's watching. This is how she has shown me to core a pepper. I love it. You push the middle down in, and you end up with almost no waste. It just comes out like perfect like that, and slice through there. And all the stem and seeds, most of them come out with that, and very little of the actual pepper that you want has come off of there with it. Now we're going to not need all of this. We're just going to need, again, maybe 2 strips per 2 strips per lettuce wrap sounds about right to me. How are you doing there, Marty?
Good, good. I was actually looking up why the word shrimp means small, because you were talking about the size of those shrimp, so that made me kind of wonder why does shrimp mean small? All I've got so far is the AI answer, where it refers back to words for shrinking, wrinkling, or becoming thin.
Huh.
Hmm.
And you think, well,
Yeah, I'll do some more looking into it.
but I would think that we use the word shrimp to mean small because shrimp are small.
But shrimp are not but shrimp are not necessarily small, right?
Um,
I don't know. Plus, there's plenty of smaller things than shrimp. Why don't we use like mite or
why don't
like
we
speck,
call somebody who's small, something that's small, we call
like
them an ant
an ant
instead
or
of
something?
a
Yeah. So
language is weird, dude.
I think I think it might have something. I'm gonna do some more reading about this.
Okay, you do some research. That's what you're good at.
Yeah, yeah. Jacob also thinks it's because they're small, but I would say there's probably better ways to express things that are small. Like I said, ant or mite or I don't
We'll start it now. We'll just start calling people ants.
know.
And probably enough green onion. Okay, so this green onion is going into my go-to tub as well. I'm just going to give these guys a rinse. So for the lettuce wraps, I'm not chopping them like chopped green onion. I'm doing these nice little slivers. You do not have to do this. It's kind of more annoying than just chopping them, but I think they look nice. So, and I'll just say sometimes when we are cooking for two, um, it just doesn't feel as worth it. You spend your lifetime.
Oh,
Oh,
lasagna.
lasagna. You spend so much. I'll wait for that to stop beeping. You spend those years with your kids, and the reason for cooking is to get them fed and nutrition, and you're trying to make things that they like so they'll actually eat and all that. And then if they're, oh, that's going to just keep beeping. And then if they're not there anymore, it can feel like why bother? I'll just have cereal for dinner kind of thing, right? Which is fine. Sometimes cereal for dinner is exactly what you need. But remembering that we matter too, and that we can take that extra minute sometimes when we have it to make the food more special makes it feel more worth it. And we matter. So if you like pretty green onions like these, do them like this, or just chop them the easy way. That is fine too. Okay, lasagna, you say?
Lasagna.
Okay, leave this cam here because I am going to find my oven mitts. Here's one. Only one oven mitt.
That's not enough.
Oh, no. Okay, everything is going everywhere. I had a trivet. Okay, there we go. Okay, this lasagna is coming out. Okay, now at this point, like I said, it's not finished, but we're gonna take the foil off. It should just be bubbling a little bit. If it's not bubbling more, that is totally fine. The first time that I tested this, I thought that meant that it wasn't done or wasn't going to be done. I wish you could see it from the side. You know what? I'm going to try tilting it.
Oh. Okay. Tilting a
You know
superheated
what?
liquid thing.
No, we have all the camera angles. Put it to the face angle.
Sure. Do.
You can see the layers.
That's true.
There are the layers. Okay, go back to this angle.
It's pasta cake.
Okay, and we are doing half a cup of mozzarella cheese, which I already had open, so it was actually in my little use first zone at the top of my fridge. Some already shredded because, sometimes we just need things to be a little easy.
Ben says hi.
Oh, hi, Ben.
Thank you, Ben. He says great work.
Aw, thanks, Ben. So that was probably about half a cup, eh? I don't know. I'm not measuring. It's a cheese. You measure cheese with your heart, right?
Or the heart of your fallen enemies.
Oh, I don't even know what that means. Okay, I'm not covering that back up. It is going into the oven just like that. And I believe it's in there for 20 minutes. I'm going to set the timer this time. Okay, so yeah, the lasagna, you guys saw me put it together with shaky hands, but it takes about 10 minutes to assemble, and then it's in the oven for 30 minutes covered, and then 20 minutes uncovered, and then it needs to rest for a good 15 minutes after that, and then you get really nice slices. Okay, so we are going back to these.
Salad's all done.
Oh, you ate the salad. Well, when the lasagna is ready, you won't have salad with your lasagna.
Eh.
That's okay. Like an appetizer, right? Okay. Veggies. I'm gonna do some avocado here too. Marty does not love avocado, but I like it.
That is a fact. I don't know. I would just be a terrible vegetarian. I'm just not, yeah, just,
You like lots of vegetables.
yeah, but not like the ones that vegetarians use to like substitute for protein sources.
I think avocados have protein.
Fat, fine.
Fat, fine, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a way of getting into the avocado that I haven't seen anybody else do that I'm overly impressed with myself about, so I'm going to show it to you now. We all know that we can run our knife around here like that, and then do that, and the pit is in half, and then not in this half. And then everybody does this crazy thing where they're like whacking at this and almost cutting their hand or trying to pry this pit out of here. You've seen this, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, don't do that. Instead, just do the same thing you did going around the whole avocado, but go around the pit just on this half. Boop. And then again over here. Boop, boop. Okay, now this one doesn't have a pit in it, and this one does, and
Oh,
it just comes right out.
I think we lost a ping pong ball, by the way, so maybe I'll take that upstairs.
Okay, interesting. So, yes, that's a way to get the pit out that does not involve banging a knife at your hand or anything like that. And then to get really nice slices, you can peel that off of there. I'm only going to do 2 of these right now because Marty does not love avocado. But yeah, you do that and then set it on its side and slice.
Jacob is impressed with your mad avocadoing skills.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I know a few things. Avocados is maybe one. Okay, so that's going to be enough avocado because, as I said, Marty's not going to have any in his shrimp wraps, but I am. So that is going to go there. The avocado I want to use really quickly because you know they turn brown. So I would put them probably not in my go-to tub, but I'd put them at that top part of my fridge where I notice things and know to use them right away. So that's where those would go for me. Okay, where are we? Over here. We're over here with shrimp and quinoa. Let's look at these shrimp. Oh, yeah. Look,
Uh-huh.
they're perfect. They're plump, they're pink, they're hot inside, just gently cooked like that. I am going to drain those at the sink. And I'm going to just put them back into the pot they were in with the lid on, and they will stay warm until we're ready to have these shrimp wraps, which is going to be really soon, I think. Check on the quinoa.
Not couscous.
Not couscous. I almost said it.
I almost said it, yeah.
Yeah. It's a little damp at the bottom. I probably overcooked that a little bit, but I was yapping away. So it's still going to be fine for our lettuce wraps, though, definitely.
What texture should it have?
Well, I like it when the water, it's because I took it off the heat to demonstrate the shrimp, so it didn't boil as long. I like it when the water is gone and it's just a little bit drier. We probably could just dry it out by turning this on for a moment. We'll do that, and I am going to get the lettuce leaves for the, where did it go?
The lettuce is over here.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you, sweetheart. Okay. So I have lettuce and I am going to break these apart, rinse them off, and they're pretty delicate, so I'm not going to put these in my salad spinner. I'm just going to dry them with some paper towel. Oh, that quinoa is making noise.
Hmm.
Simmering up.
I don't know if you guys can hear it. Actually, let me know if you can hear it. I can hear it. I can hear it with my earballs.
Yeah, our speakers or microphones tend to get rid of continuous noise. So that's one of the things that they get rid of. I thought the camera was not on me, so I was having some water. Thank you, sweetheart.
What you're a human that has to drink water?
I know, right? Okay. I think that is drying out quite a bit. I'm going to turn that off and it'll just dry out a little bit more like that. And we'll get these lettuce leaves washed. Hello, lettuce leaves. Oh, hello, lettuce leaves. I am still not used to knowing where to look.
We're using a conference mic. I've heard the water running, but not the quinoa simmering. Yeah, we're using a conference mic, which is obviously tuned for voice usage. So it's picking up. I think it's picking up our voices pretty clearly, but it's filtering out all the background noise. Which I don't know. When you're cooking, you kind of like the background noise sometimes. So
yeah, I do love the simmering and stuff. 5, 6. I wanted 7. Oh, I could have had a couple extra lettuce leaves in that salad after all.
by the way, your feedback is very much appreciated. We do like knowing how it's
Oh yeah.
how your experience is.
Yeah, this is our first time doing this. We've been talking about it for almost a year at this point, going live. As many of you know, to become a little more agile, we've been taking improv classes, which was just supposed to be for fun, well, to learn. Sorry, I'm saying the opposite of the truth. The truth is, we started taking them to learn to be more agile. Then we had so much fun that we are now on our 5th level, the highest level that they have. And we are addicted to improv.
It is a lot of fun. Highly recommend, guys. It's a great way to make friends too.
Yeah, it is. Yep. Okay. Okay, so we have our lettuce leaves, we have our shrimp, we have our quinoa, we have our veggies here, and it is time to assemble these babies.
Patty wants to know how long would you let large or extra large shrimp sit in the boiling water?
Oh, that's a great question. Yeah, so it's a little bit different every time. It depends on how big the pot is, how much water there is, and how big the shrimp are, and how many you have. They are almost always done. If they can move around like those ones could, they're almost always done in 15 minutes or less, even the large ones. Just make sure, like the more you have and the bigger they are, the more hot water you're starting with. So you want, as you add the frozen shrimp to the water, it's going to drop the temperature down a little bit, but it's still like steaming and hot. So try and like keep that in mind. And I think that should work. Does that answer the question?
Well, let us know what you think, Patty.
Okay. It is one of my favorite ways to cook shrimp because they're so good and pretty hands off. And yeah, okay. What am I doing? That was a funny noise. Vegetables.
Thank you. MK Duel. I don't know what your handle stands for, but thank you very much for your feedback. They say that that they think we're doing real great.
Aw, thank you. Okay. I have got.
And you're very welcome. We're having a great time.
Yeah, this is fun.
Yeah, this is fun.
Okay, we have shrimp, we have veggies, we have lettuce, and we have quinoa. I guess I need one more trivet thing. Okay. Okay, that is everything we need to make these. So if we were having these for dinner now,
I'll hold a plate. You want to serve it up?
Sure. Oh. Yeah. I'm gonna get. Okay, you're gonna hold the plate? Is that the plan?
Yep.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna make one for now because Oh, sweet chili sauce, honey.
Oh yeah, that's a what excellent seasoning, by the way. One of my favorites for.
This is one of his favorite things on all sorts of stuff.
It's also really good in uh ramen. Big
Mm.
fan of it in ramen.
So I'm putting a little bit of the sweet chili sauce on that lettuce leaf, and then I am adding a little bit of the quinoa and did I say three shrimp?
You did say three shrimp.
Three shrimp. And you don't want avocado on yours.
No, no, thank you.
So cucumber and some pepper and some green onion. And is this where we try to eat these live on camera?
I mean, this one's mine, so I don't know what this we thing
Okay,
is.
okay. I'm gonna make one, and are you gonna put your face on there eating this baby?
Sure, sure, yeah.
Okay. I want to watch him while I'm also doing this. Chili sauce.
Warm. It's a little warm still.
Oh yeah, because the quinoa is warm.
Oh, fair. Yes, yes, it's the quinoa that's nice and that's still nice and hot. It might need to cool down a little bit
Oh, you're
before.
gonna burn yourself.
Yeah. I don't know.
This is my favorite thing that's happened all day. Okay. And I think mine is ready too. I'm gonna eat on camera. We've never done this before, you guys. I guess you just did. You were eating your salad.
I mean, it was a salad, so.
A little bit easier than shrimp lettuce wraps. Mm-hmm. They're good.
I definitely like the sweet chili sauce on them.
Mm-hmm.
They did want to fall out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But they are very tasty. It's a good mix of stuff. Actually, you know what? I'm often not also a big fan of quinoa, but the sweet chili sauce really kind of they absorb this flavor from the sweet chili sauce and the other ingredients and really flavored up the quinoa nicely.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think so yeah, they're a little delicate because the butter lettuce is delicate. I really like the butter lettuce and how soft it is in these, but a sturdier choice would be the romaine lettuce leaves for sure. I was trying these last time I made them with green leaf lettuce. Oh, I think I have sweet chili sauce on my glasses. I was trying them with leaf lettuce, green leaf lettuce, and it has no structure. Like the butter lettuce has that like nice cup to it. And so it already like naturally is holding things. And the romaine has that kind of like divot sort of situation. The leaf lettuce was too floppy and everything, I literally picked the first one up and everything fell out the two sides at once. So I would say romaine or butter lettuce is best. Iceberg lettuce is also really good, but it kind of cracks because it's so crunchy.
Yeah.
So then you just be careful that it's not cracking as you fold
Yeah,
it.
green leaf already has that nice fold to it, and it has the sorry.
Romaine, you mean?
Romaine, right? Romaine, yeah.
Okay, I am going to clean up a little bit. How are we? Lasagna needs another 6 minutes. I'm gonna go look in the oven. You guys can't
See the oven. Hey, maybe we'll put up an oven cam at some point.
I know, that would be so fun. I'm trying to think.
I think it would melt.
I think that all of our wires would end up all over the place and wrong if I tried to like. Oh, I know what I can do. I can take a picture and put it somewhere, right?
I think a phone would melt if we stuck it in the oven.
No, I'm not putting my phone in the oven. Okay, I've taken a picture and maybe I will post it at some point, but it needs another 6 minutes. I think that I should take a moment to clean up some of this before we move on to the next recipe.
Most human beings don't cook 5 meals at a time.
No, I know, and my kitchen can't sustain it. So I'm gonna move some things out of the way, and then we are going to move on to the next recipe, which is dinner pancakes.
Huh.
You know,
All right.
breakfast for dinner, people think of like bacon and eggs. This is
Yeah,
like
yeah.
taking pancakes and making them for dinner. So that's the third recipe. The pancakes are going to use some of that ricotta. So I bought a tub
Hmm.
of ricotta. Some goes in the lasagna, some goes in the pancakes, using that up. And they're going to have some prosciutto around. Like the pancakes are going to be the pancakes. And then there's going to be some prosciutto and some arugula and some walnuts. And they're really tasty. So we're going to do that next.
So we've had the lasagna with salad, and so salad, I guess, is part of the first meal, and now
Mhm.
we've got the shrimp wraps
Shrimp wraps, number
and
two.
and dinner pancakes.
Dinner pancakes is number three. And you know what? While I am cleaning up, I'm going to try and talk at the same time
Mhm.
about the concept of the 3-day meal plan that I
Oh
really
yeah,
like,
right on, right
because
on.
I think that's a really good idea. So I
I'm gonna
am
go get us
gonna,
some fresh towels to have around.
oh, that's a good idea. Okay, so I am going to move some things out of the way. And okay, so if you have gone to cookthestory.com/sample and you see the meal plan there, you will see that it's calling itself a 3-day meal plan, even though it has 5 recipes in it. And that is because I just believe in 3-day meal plans as the easiest way to do things. You are only coming up with 3 ideas, which is often half the battle, right? And you're only shopping for 3 things. And then it's very easy to see what is left in your fridge after making those 3 dinners. You know, you probably had some lunches and stuff too in that time. And after the 3 days are over, you can assess what you have and try to stretch those ingredients into another recipe. So that is the day 4 recipe. I call it a use it up recipe because it is very versatile and you can use different protein or a different carbohydrate or different veggies depending on what's in your go-to tub. And also it's delicious. So that is the 3-day meal plan plus a use it up day that you're not shopping for, you're just making use of stuff you already have. And then there's another day that I always think, you know, Marty goes to the grocery store.
A lot. A
He
lot.
does
I
go to the
tend to,
grocery
instead of
store.
doing big shopping runs, I tend to just buy a couple things and come back the next day and buy a couple things more. The grocery store is real close, so it's easy to just pop over there like in half an hour, get you out of the house for a moment. But yeah, I go to the grocery store a lot.
He
That's
does go to the
awesome.
grocery store a lot.
Awesome.
And so what I like to do is after the 4 days, 3-day meal plan, 1 day use it up, take stock of things and try and think of a dinner that I can make that maybe only needs one other thing that you go and buy. And then when he's going to the grocery store next for his lunch food or whatever he's going to get, I'll be like, hey, can you also grab some chicken breasts? And then I get a 5th day out of it that way. So the 3-day meal plan is much easier to conceive of and deal with. It's also really good for if anything comes up, like you decide to go out for dinner or something like that, and you're just shifting the 3rd day over to a 4th day, nothing's going bad in that time. Whereas if you've planned for and shopped for 5 days and like day 4 gets screwed up, now things are a little iffy. You're tossing things into the freezer, the vegetables aren't looking as good. So 3-day meal plan, my favorite. And that is what you'll see at cookthestory.com/sample is a 3-day plus the use it up day plus the bonus you don't have to shop very much for a day. Okay, are we ready for pancakes?
Pancakes, dinner pancakes.
Dinner pancakes. We will get started and I have some stuff here. So I really wanted to do a pancake recipe because pancakes are one of those things that you end up with too many of them quite often, and it's harder to do for 2 people. So this recipe is developed to make exactly the right amount for 2 people. You get 3 pancakes each, and it makes it really easy, and it's not this whole like big production, simple little pancake recipe. So we're gonna do that now. We're gonna start with some milk and vinegar, kind of like a buttermilk situation going on. So we need, oh, I need to get the recipe for myself. Here it is. Dinner pancakes for 2. So we're going to start with a half cup of milk. And I will just tell you that so this is the recipe that has the ricotta in it. If you were instead doing, I actually can't see the measurements on this measuring cup. So this is the recipe that has ricotta in it. If you're not using ricotta, then you're gonna use 3/4 of a cup of milk. So that is what you need to
We used to
know.
have these in chemistry class.
A beaker like this?
A graduated cylinder.
Oh, graduated cylinder. Okay. Oh, that's
Lasagna.
lasagna. Beeping, beep, beep, beep. Beeping lasagna. Okay. Pancakes, you're gonna have to wait a moment.
I'm switching back to face cam
You're switching back to face cam. Okay.
for the
Perfect.
lasagna reveal.
Yeah, where did my little... Oh well, we'll just use this.
Oh, the trivet.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's a little blue one.
Mm.
Huh. Oh, we found it.
It's run off.
There we are. Okay. Can you do that, Cam?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Look at that.
Oh yeah.
So
We're working on getting the smells to you guys. I don't know, maybe a little while.
it does smell good, eh?
Yeah.
Oops, that was my oven. Okay, so now that is out of the oven. I'm gonna just double check that the noodles are soft for sure. I'm positive that they are, but I am taking what is this?
Stabby dealio.
A stabby dealio. I'm taking a stabby dealio and I am putting it through there and it's going all the way in very easily. So now I know that my noodles are soft all the way through. Skewer. It's called a skewer.
Or stabbing.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay. So now this lasagna needs to rest for 15 minutes. It's going to stop it all simmering around and then it will be beautifully sliceable. So I'm just going to move that out of the way for 15 minutes. It'll be back here, back there. And we are moving back to these pancakes. So I had 1/2 cup of milk and I need 2 tablespoons of vinegar, just plain old white vinegar. I have a massive container of it, so it's hard to pour because I put it in the laundry instead of fabric softener. So we go through insane amounts of white vinegar.
It suppresses smells
Yeah.
in the laundry.
Yes, it supposedly suppresses smells. I think it does other stuff too.
Well, it replaces them with a vinegar smell.
I don't think Marty loves that I put vinegar in the laundry, but I've been doing it for so long. You know, when my kids were younger, I would worry about like chemicals and stuff, and I didn't want to use the fabric softener sheets. I can't even remember what I thought or why, but that was a thing in my head that I didn't want to use fabric softener sheets, and I still don't. So, okay, so that was the milk with vinegar. I'm just setting that aside for a bit. Going to make the dry ingredients for the batter, and then we will combine the two and with the ricotta as well. So we're doing 1 cup of flour. Mom, I'm still using your Tupperware flour bins. These were in my house the entire time I was growing up. I'm showing you guys.
Speaking of which, she says that the lasagna looks yummy.
Oh, thanks, Mom. Okay, 1 cup of flour, and then you can optionally add a 1/4 cup of flax meal. Weirdly, the recipe doesn't change whether you add it or not. It should, because they should be like denser with the flax meal,
Huh.
but it just works whether you have it or not. And I have done both many times. So
it's healthier with the flax meal, or?
yeah, I mean let's see. The flax meal has some fiber, 3 grams, and I think it has like the omega mono. It has these like healthy fats in it. I think
fair.
flax is known for that. So it's just a little boost to your.
In Oblivion, you make mana potions out of it.
I don't even know what that means. Okay. So flour, flax meal. I'm doing a tablespoon of sugar. This was a gift from my parents, actually, my little fun sugar bowl. Isn't that cute? Okay. Tablespoon of sugar, and we need a teaspoon of baking powder. Okay. 1 teaspoon of baking powder and 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. And I am just gonna eyeball that if I can get to it. That's about 1/2 teaspoon. I know you're supposed to treat baking like chemistry and not be as lax as that, but I just do. Okay, and it is 1/2 teaspoon of salt. This is a 1/4 teaspoon measure, so I'm doing 2 of those, and this gets whisked together, There we go. And then we are going to add an egg and, oh, we'll do it in here. An egg and some ricotta. Do I have an egg over here? I do not.
Whisked.
What's that?
Whisked. It sounds like there's a T at the end.
Whisked. It does.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 1 egg in here. And we're going to get that ricotta cheese that we had before, which is at the top part of the fridge in my use soon zone. We are using 1/2 cup of the ricotta. I need a scooper. Oh, here we go. You know, I make this is a 1/4 cup measure. Okay, so we'll do 2 of these. I make the social media videos of myself cooking all the time that you guys probably know, but those ones we cut. And so there are like pauses and we can get rid of them. In real time is a lot trickier.
Yeah, this is, you guys are seeing the actual real live process with all of the time involved and etc.
Yeah, well, we said cooking for real life, right? I'm even doing all the prep and everything, so I don't have things chopped and ready to go in little bowls. So you guys are seeing all of it. That was just the 1/4 cup.
MK Duel suggests a 1/2 teaspoon of rasped or microplaned lemon peel.
Oh, yes, that would be very nice.
Bye, Jacob. Jacob has to get going. But thank you for watching what you watched. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Jacob. See you tomorrow, my friend. We are having improv day tomorrow. We're seriously obsessed. So we're getting together with some of our improv friends to do improv in the living room. That is a thing that we do. So
it is now a thing that we do.
it is now a thing that we do. Yes. It is so fun. Okay. Oh, here we go again with me having to mix together egg and ricotta. I'm not as shaky and nervous as I was at the beginning now. So just
you were nervous. So that was cute.
Aw, thanks, sweetie. Okay, I'm mixing together the egg and the ricotta, and I'm adding this weird milk vinegar mixture to there, and we're also going to melt 2 tablespoons of butter in the microwave, which I will do. Maybe go to face cam while I'm doing that because I'm going to be moving around the kitchen for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to do 2 tablespoons of butter melted, and we're going to need, sorry, what?
Oh, I was asking if the lasagna was ready.
15 minutes it needs to rest for.
Oh, okay.
If you go into it too soon, it's going to be a sloppy mess on your plate.
Fair.
You have to wait the 15 minutes. It's very important. Okay. Nice. What was I about to say? Oh, 2 tablespoons of butter goes into the batter, and then 1 tablespoon is going for cooking the pancakes later. So, oh, you're back. I didn't know which camera you were on.
That's all good.
Okay. So 2 tablespoons is going melted into the microwave. I'm going to put that in the microwave. And, oh wait, my mom always says, you're thinking it, aren't you, Mom? the paper towel over top so it doesn't spatter butter all over the microwave.
That's good advice.
When she's visiting, she's the one who ends up cleaning the microwave. So, so she's on top of that. Okay. I'm going to put this butter here for cooking the pancakes in a minute. As soon as that butter's melted, I'm going to add it to the rest of those ingredients. Nope. It's going to go into the bowl here with the ricotta and the milk, and then we're going to put that all into our dry ingredients, and we're going to set that aside and build our plates before we cook the pancakes. No, it's still not melted enough. Okay, one more moment, and then we will be ready to move on with that. Do you like pancakes?
I'm not a big fan of pancakes, I gotta tell you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It's the dough, like waffles and stuff like that. Also, same reason.
Huh, okay. I think I maybe knew that. I didn't choose the recipes based on things that Marty likes. I chose them based on the things that I've seen people asking for in the sort of like cooking for two arena. So,
No, my opinion. I'm gonna give you guys my real opinion on things. So
yeah, no, I love it. I think it's great. Can you switch to the table cam? Thank you. I am adding this melted butter to here. I'm gonna get what my cooking teacher calls
friends,
a friend.
a friend.
I'm telling you, little spatulas. I have so many of them. I have more little spatulas than I have flat whisks, actually. Okay, so this is the ricotta, the egg, the milk, the vinegar, and the butter. And if I had lemon zest, that would be amazing in here too. And then this is going in there. Oh, I'm gonna get the friend again. There we go. I wonder if any of my friends from junior high remember that cooking teacher. Okay, we're mixing this batter together.
Huh.
What's that?
No, nothing. It's just watching it mix.
Yeah, and this is, so that seems thick. It is a nice fluffy pancake mixture. We're going to get really fluffy pancakes from this. It actually looks thicker than I'm used to it looking, so of course now I'm confused and worried, but I'm sure it's going to be wonderful. I'm going to put this over by the stove, but then I'm going to start building the plates for this meal. So what we are going to do is get 2 dinner plates, 1 and 2, and we're going to put some arugula on there.
Oh,
what?
My mom pointed out that I don't have my apron on.
She's
absolutely right.
You forgot it.
I actually do have an apron. I just didn't put it on.
Yeah, he has a nice little apron. It doesn't match mine if you guys are expecting a...
But no, she's right. She's totally right.
Okay, so we're just gonna put some arugula on the plates, kind of. Is there a spinach leaf in my arugula? How strange. We're just putting it around the outside of the plates like that. There we go. And then we're getting some prosciutto. Here we are, prosciutto, which is just so good with arugula.
It's ham, right? Prosciutto's ham.
Yeah, it's a kind of ham.
Okay, so I know that was a dumb question, but
no, it's not a dumb question.
Well, for our viewers, I'm sure knew the answer, but
oh, well, maybe. And I'm just kind of tearing it apart, and I'm gonna arrange it. Yeah, it's like a dry ham. I mean, yeah, correct. And I'm doing kind of like maybe 2 slices per person. It's not a ton. It's just a little bit of salty flavor. It's, the reason it's here is we're thinking about breakfast for dinner. It's kind of like the bacon. you know? So we're just making this a little bit fancy, like I was talking before about, you know, doing some nice things for ourselves, and that is a nice one. And then I'm going to put the rest of the prosciutto in that sort of use first area of my fridge so I remember to use it.
It's
Um,
kind of attractive. That is to say,
yeah.
with the plate and the lettuce and the bread.
Oh,
Yeah.
thanks, sweetie.
Yeah.
And then I have some walnuts.
Attractive set. Pretty. Nice.
Just gonna put some walnuts around there, a little crunch, a little protein. I will say I made this exact dish the other day, and my son and his girlfriend were here, and I used pistachios. And my son said that it did not need the nuts, and his girlfriend Olivia said she loved the nuts. So I am not sure now, but those were pistachios, so that's like a different flavor. I think it's good, but Jeremy did not think it was good. Olivia thought it was good. So it's up to you if you're going to put the walnuts or not.
Kind of like teaching math. I get like the evaluations at the end of the semester. Some are like he spent way too much time on examples, and someone else will say he did not spend nearly enough time on examples. And
Yep.
it's
Yep.
just
Okay. So our stuff is plated. We are going to um, we're going to make the pancakes and then we'll test the lasagna. I think, has it been 15 minutes? Well, we can maybe do the lasagna now. Yeah, let's do the lasagna now. Okay, so we're gonna bring that lasagna back over here. Oops. Oopie-doo. I don't know that the pan is still hot, but just in case, I'm not touching it without my oven mitts on. Okay, moment of truth, y'all.
right. Oh, by the way, sorry,
Mm-hmm.
apron. I mean, it's not like a full. It's just like more like a tool belt looking thing, but
You look cute in your apron. That's great. I'm going in search of a knife.
yeah, it does look good. It does look good.
Oh,
I agree.
they like it?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to, like I said, it's kind of like 2.5 portions. So I'm gonna kind of go in here. I hope we waited long enough. Oh, I'm nervous now. Gonna run my knife all along there on the outside edge. Okay, and I'm gonna get a plate. Plate. Oh, I don't know why I've been this nervous before. Maybe like the first time we performed live improv. Oh, that's too wide. Okay, I got one that's a better size for this.
She has all sizes of spatulas, y'all.
I do have all. Oh my goodness.
Thank you, Kathleen. I appreciate your vote of confidence.
Look at that. Nice slice held together. Do you want to show the? Here,
Sure.
wait, this is it here. Wait, the plate has a big lip. You can't actually see it that way. I'm trying to show.
There we go.
There we go. That's lasagna. And it's still steaming. You know,
Yeah,
it
it's
was
still
waiting
warm.
for 15 minutes, we think, 10 or
Mhm.
15 minutes, and it is definitely still hot. If people are worried that leaving it that time, they're not going to have hot food, it's probably still going to burn your mouth off. So,
Fair. Yeah.
so resting it is great. And I'm just going to show off the cut in the pan too. I wonder, can I get closer to there? Wait, where are you going? Oh, there. Here, look. You can see the layers and the cheese, and it's holding together so nice. And you're gonna get like 2 slices, big slices, and then you're gonna fight over the little bits there in the end. Okay, do you want to try the lasagna, Marty?
Well, you just warned me that it will like make my face explode.
Yes, we'll blow on it.
Okay. Here,
Okay,
let me get my own part.
okay.
It's
Oh, okay, here we go. We're gonna do it at the same time.
so we both can suffer the pain.
I'm gonna make sure it's not too hot. Mm. Oh, stringy cheese.
Mm-hmm.
It's hot. Careful.
Smells good.
Uh-oh.
Mm-hmm.
You're okay.
Mm-hmm.
You're
It's
tough.
good. It's good. I actually, I really love the cheese.
The cheese and the sausage.
Yep, I like the sausage. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Um, so this is mozzarella, of course.
Mozzarella on top, ricotta in the middle.
Oh, true,
And there
fair.
was a little bit of Parmesan cheese in mixed with the ricotta, just a little bit for that extra flavor.
You know what? Also, I'll say I wouldn't have guessed that it's chicken sausage.
Oh
It tastes
no.
like Italian sausage.
It does. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's amazing. Yeah, I'm telling you, those are such a great little convenience item, those sausages. And they keep for a long time in the fridge. I think I said that already. Okay, I am going to move this. You want to keep eating it? I can tell. Okay, we're going to move these out of the way. Oh, no, it wasn't too hot to hold.
Oh, well, I'm glad you figured that out.
At the right time? Yeah, hang
Yep.
on. I'm going to put this somewhere else. And we are going to move on to cooking those pancakes. We have our plates ready for the delicious food to go on to, and we just need to cook the pancakes, which is going to require a frying pan. And I have one somewhere that was just for this purpose, and I don't know what I did with it. Huh, okay. Marty, can you stop for a moment while I try to find my frying pan?
Sure. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So. No. So yeah. Again, as she said, I actually kind of have a very specific palate in terms of what I like. So I tend to not like a lot of herbs. So if there's any time that I'm like, oh, that tastes too oregano-y to me or whatever, that's just me. I yeah. But I don't know.
You're fine. So, okay, I have found not the frying pan I was planning to use. This is my old non-stick frying pan. So it's a little dinged up and not ideal, but I don't know what happened to the new one. So that is what we've got right now. And we're gonna warm that up and cook these pancakes. I've got this over medium heat. And I know for sure. What's that, honey?
Oh, nothing.
1/3 of a cup is the amount that you want. 1/3 of a cup is the amount of batter that you want per pancake with this recipe, and you will end up with exactly 6 pancakes. And we will start cooking these bitties. So, like I said, I have a tablespoon of butter to cook the pancakes. I'm doing half of that for the first round of 3, and then the other half for the second round of 3. Spatula. I have a spatula. I rinsed the lasagna off of it, don't worry. Okay, so once this heats up, and I'll just say we've left the pancake batter sitting while we were plating and then while we were eating lasagna and all of that. And the batter does tend to like rise and puff up a little bit. And it's just nice to let your pancake batter rest for a bit before you start cooking it. It's gonna hydrate the flour really well and make better pancakes. And that is what we want, of course. Now I'm just gonna, you can't see it, but what I've got here is my measuring cup with a plate under it, and that way I can scoop my pancake batter and then set it here, and I don't end up with pancake batter all over the counter, which I know has happened to some of you before for sure, probably. Okay, when that pan is just a bit warmer than that. Now, because there's ricotta in this batter, I will tell you that it can brown a little bit faster than a pancake batter would normally brown. I swear these are thicker than they normally are. I feel like I missed something in the ingredient list. Oy, oy, oy. Cooking live, guys. Yeah, they're more like dumplings. We'll see how they turn out. This is the basic pancake recipe that I make for blueberry pancakes to make for my son. He loves blueberry pancakes. I make them for him all the time. This is the same recipe. So I am confused. Well, I guess without the ricotta, but I do add the ricotta sometimes. Okay, I'm just gonna kind of make them rounder, like nice and round.
Dang.
Okay, and then the thing with pancakes, with so many things that you're cooking on the stove like this, is um, making sure that they're not burning underneath before they cook through. I'm gonna turn the heat way down, and then sometimes you need to like spin them a bit if your pan isn't cooking super evenly. I'm really sad about that frying pan that I can't find. I got it to replace this one, and I love it. It's
Is it the one with the gritty texture on it?
it's not. Oh, did you find it?
Oh, is this the one you're on?
Yeah. Oh, Marty found my new nonstick skillet. Okay, well, this is what was supposed to be cooking the pancakes. Not dinged up at all. It was just over there?
Yep.
Okay, fine.
Live cooking, as you said.
Yeah. Okay. So I do have a new, better. Well, I mean, this one's fine. It just, the nonstick coating, they warn you that once it's scratched, you shouldn't be using it anymore. And I want to be making healthy choices for us here.
Thank you, Molly.
Oh,
Well, Molly, congratulated my pan finding skills.
oh yeah. Yeah, he does. He does find things. Actually, Marty has this theory about when you can't find something that somebody else can go to the same place you went and they will find it.
Sometimes it's just, yeah, I think our memories are better than our like vision. So usually when I'm looking for something, it's exactly where I think it is. I just can't see it somehow.
So I am flipping these over. Oops, not onto each other.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, right on. Absolutely.
And then they're going for, I'm actually going to set the timer. I usually do. Another minute and 30 seconds on the other side. And then these three will be done, and we'll do the other three. Or maybe watching pancakes cook is a bit like watching paint dry, and we only have to cook one half of the batch. So these three are cooking, and maybe we'll just taste these and move on. But I'll show you how much batter is left. I literally just used half of it, and so the other half is going to make the other three pancakes if we were going to do it.
I guess I don't know what flaxseed tastes like.
Flaxseed. I mean, you can taste it if
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah. Well, we'll know. Well, I'll know soon enough.
Oh, I don't think you can. I don't think you can detect it in there. And you can't really taste the ricotta either. It's very subtle. It's really. I have the ricotta in this recipe more than anything to use up the ricotta. You have this ingredient in the fridge, and you want to make sure that you use it. Oh, these are puffing up so nice. Oh, wow. I sound Canadian there. Oh,
That's
nice.
pretty good. Yeah.
Oh, here, wait. Can you come to this camera?
Yeah.
You gotta see this. Oh, wait, I just opened it. How fluffy they're getting.
I don't know how she touches pans with her bare fingers like this, guys. I don't know how she does it.
Oh yeah, maybe. I don't know. My mom says Teflon fingers.
Yeah.
Just gonna go another little bit. I think I flipped them the first time too early. I was worried about being boring for you all, and so I moved too fast. I think they might still be just a little rare inside. So, they're going to be tender and fluffy and thick and amazing. They used up the ricotta. They've got the flaxseed in them. They're going to be really good. Okay, I'm going to just cut into one and make sure it's done because nobody wants a rare pancake. Oh, I can't see that close with my glasses on. That's how you know you're almost 50, right? Okay. Okay, I'm ready to plate these. So head over to the table cam.
Table cam.
Okay.
Oh, I see. They're going on that. For
Yes.
some reason, I didn't connect it.
Oh.
I'm like, oh, a nice salad with prosciutto. And also now there's pancakes.
Okay, so imagine, y'all, that there were 3 pancakes on each stack because we would get 3 each. And I am just feeling a little self-conscious making you watch me cook pancakes forever. So then what you're going to do is a little bit of honey or maple syrup. I always have honey. I don't always have maple syrup, so that's why. And you're just drizzling like that. And the other one. I wonder if nobody else knew why I was making these plates like that.
I don't know. I was just kind of along for the ride.
Now you can also add a little bit of butter on top of here if you want to. I personally don't want the extra butter on there, but you know, pancakes and butter are a thing. And then I like,
You used honey instead of, let's say, maple syrup or something.
yeah, I just said that,
Oh, sorry.
no, it's okay. That I always have honey and I don't always have maple syrup. So, and I'm just doing a little kosher salt over top, a little crunchy bit of salt, and we are good to try these.
Sure.
Look at that, looks really nice. Forks. We need forks.
Ooh.
There's one for you. Oh yeah, you don't really like pancakes.
Fair, but you know, I like trying things.
You do like trying things. Marty is an adventurous taster, if not an adventurous eater. So he's actually a real pleasure to cook for because he'll try everything and you'll try it more than once.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just in case your taste changed, like cauliflower.
Mm,
Taste for that definitely changed. So,
I think you might like this.
hmm. Hmm. It smells a lot like a regular pancake, but it doesn't quite taste like a regular pancake. The flaxseed does change the flavor a fair
What do you
bit.
think of the flaxseed?
Hmm.
You can't taste the ricotta though.
Oh, that is true. You're right. I cannot taste the ricotta.
No,
You're
no.
right. You're right. I wouldn't know. I would have no idea. Not always a big fan of ricotta,
Here,
but yeah, no, I wouldn't have any idea there was ricotta in this.
go back to the table camera. I just want to show the inside of these very fluffy, thick pancakes. And you know what? I was worried that the batter was thicker than normal. They did not end up tough or
That's true. That's
no,
true.
they're really nice. So I don't know why the batter seemed thicker to me, but they are tasty.
Hmm. Um, I, I don't know. I don't know if I'd call them fluffy, but they have kind of a texture of a nice light banana bread.
Mm, yeah, I think you're right. Um, I totally think you're right. Yeah,
Hmm.
but
So,
not bready,
no, not bready. No, not bready.
but soft.
Yeah.
Hmm. Okay, wonderful. Okay, so that is our third dinner done, and we are moving on to our fourth one, which is the use it up day.
Oh, fair.
So,
Right.
yeah, so if you're looking at the meal plan at cookthestory.com/sample, you'll see that the fourth day is a use up day, and we're doing a Mediterranean stir fry. So we all know that we can use up last bits of veggies to make a stir fry, but sometimes you don't want that flavor profile. This one is more of a Mediterranean flavor profile, and so you can like switch up the flavors that you put with your sautéed vegetables. Some of you might be thinking this is essentially a sauté, very close, similar. Um, switch up the vegetables, switch up the flavors, and you get a whole different dinner and it's not the same stir fry all the time. So that is what we're going to do next. I'm going to just tie it up a little bit and we will move on to the next recipe. I will show it to them. Mediterranean stir fry for two. It's here. And you'll see these use it up recipes when I do them. They'll call for like 2 cups fresh veggies, like here, so that you can use whatever you've got in your go-to tub, whatever vegetables you have to use up. You can make those here, and it's not calling for specific vegetables that you've got to put on your grocery list and shop for. Okay, so that's what's going on there. And do I have enough space here? Okay, here we go. I am. How long have we been on air for here?
Oh, hour and a half, hour and 40,
Hmm,
hour and three quarters.
perfect. I was hoping that we would get through the five recipes in about 2.5 hours, which is 30 minutes per dinner, which is not bad,
That's true. That's true.
especially considering how much talking I'm doing.
Yeah, also I gotta say, lasagna seems like it would take a long time to cook, but we were doing so much other stuff while the lasagna was cooking, the time just flew by.
Yeah.
You spent some prep at the beginning, stuck it in the oven, and then we're off doing other stuff, and then beep 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 beep, beep boop beep boop.
Well, and if you were not doing a live cooking show, that whole time could be spent relaxing on the couch,
Hmm.
reading, chatting with someone. So
So yeah,
you wouldn't have to be like actually cooking that whole time, right?
exactly my point. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna
So
move.
there's a question about would using whole wheat flour give you the same result?
Oh, I have tried this recipe with whole wheat flour before, and they were denser, which is how I got the idea of the flax meal. But then again, it's confusing because with the flax meal, they should be so much denser and they're not. I think you could use the whole wheat flour, skip the flax meal, and you should be fine. They're gonna have, oh, whenever you do baked goods with whole wheat flour, it's just a different texture, right?
Hmm,
Maybe half and half.
hmm,
Half white flour, half whole wheat flour.
hmm.
And then if you still want the flaxseed, maybe cut it from the quarter cup to 2 tablespoons. I think that would work. I should add it to my testing list and I can get back to you because I'll try it and we'll find out for sure. Okay, I am wiping this counter. And so for this Mediterranean stir fry, we are going back to those shrimp and I need a bowl. Hang on a second, I'm gonna find one.
Someone commented that they use white whole wheat flour, which works almost like white flour, but is a touch more liquid.
Oh,
Hmm.
interesting. I'm gonna look for that. I have not tried that before. Hmm,
Hmm.
like it. What was I thinking? Oh. So this Mediterranean stir fry, you can use different proteins, like whatever you have left. In this case, we have those frozen shrimps. I'm using those, but I'm also going to use those other two chicken sausages.
Hmm.
So we have them. They're in that use up zone in my fridge. I want to make sure I get to them now that the package is open. They're not going to keep as long. So we're going to have shrimp and Italian chicken sausage and lots of veggies, and we're going to put that on the rest of the quinoa that we cooked for the shrimp lettuce wrap day. So it's going to be good. I am getting the chicken sausage.
King Arthur brand apparently is the brand of the white whole wheat flour.
Okay, I'm going to totally look for that.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, I love the suggestions you guys are
Yeah,
giving.
yeah,
It's really
appreciate
good.
it.
So because we have the chicken sauce over here, okay, we have the chicken sausages. It's one sausage each, I guess, in this stir fry that I'm making. And so we're just gonna have a little bit of shrimp to have with it. We don't need a ton because we have the protein from there. So I'm gonna do, how many is that? I mean, maybe six each. Can you pop that bag back into the freezer
Not
for
a
me?
problem.
And I'm gonna wash my hands, which I guess you guys can't hear as we tested earlier, but I did do it. I am washing my hands frequently, of course. Okay, and we're just gonna add just basic tap water to those shrimp, and they're going to thaw pretty quickly. I'm not doing the cooking technique I did before because I actually want to saute these, like stir fry them with the veggies in the frying pan. So I'm just going to thaw them. I'm not going to cook them. However, if I was having these dinners like back to back, we could have cooked extra shrimp before and then had these as the already cooked protein there. Okay, shrimp thawing. I am also gonna find the quinoa. Marty, you should talk for a minute because I don't know where I put the quinoa.
Oh, here we go again. But yeah. So again, we're not. Of course, most people aren't going to make 5 meals in a single day. But yeah, I mean, I guess we'll think about how to like maybe. Oh, sorry.
No, go.
Oh, figure out how to maybe see if there's a way we can edit out maybe individual meals so that people could just kind of view a particular meal end to end to end. But right now they're all kind of mixed together. But it is actually pretty impressive that you can actually do all of these things like kind of interlaced, as it were, and still have everything work.
Yeah, no, it's actually going better than I hoped. I shouldn't say that. I still have two more to do, right? So I have the quinoa here from the lettuce wrap day, and we're gonna have a little bit more of it in this dinner. I was hoping to use it all, but I didn't estimate enough. So that was 3/4 of a cup of quinoa for the shrimp lettuce wraps and for this dinner, and I think it's gonna be just a little bit too much. I've got the quinoa ready. I'm just gonna warm it up in the microwave later, but I've got it ready to go into the microwave. So that is going, and the shrimp are thawing, and I'm gonna make a little sauce.
Hmm.
You know, when you do a stir fry, there's often that like stir fry sauce that that you add kind of at the end. It's that kind of thing. And so we're gonna mix that together first, and then when we have everything just about finished cooking, we are going to add this sauce to it. But we get it ready first so that we have it ready to go. And it is a tablespoon of water, 2 teaspoons of lemon juice.
So you're using the squeeze of the not the fresh lemons, the
Yes. So it's an interesting thing, right? I find that sometimes if I buy, where are the teaspoon measures on here? 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. Sometimes I buy the fresh lemons and I go through them great, and other times I buy them and I cut into one and I don't get to the second half, and then they just get kind of gross looking. So sometimes I have them and I use the fresh if I have it, but I always have a bottle of the bottled lemon juice on the door of the fridge just in case. Either one is going to be just fine. So that was 1 tablespoon of water, 2 teaspoons of lemon juice, and a teaspoon of honey. And to that, I'm going to also add about a half teaspoon of dried oregano. I'm playing that one by eye, and some red pepper flakes.
not by year, by ear.
No, I'm not playing it by ear. That means something different.
Well, also some people say year, play it by year.
Oh, I've never heard that before. What is that?
Well, that's not right.
Oh,
I'm gonna be snobby about it. Sorry.
oh, yes. You know what I say. There is no right and wrong when it comes to language.
Fair enough.
We are all language users. Anyways, that is not the topic of today's live cooking demo. Christine getting on her high horse about linguistics. Okay, so we have that mixture made. Oh, was it supposed to have salt in it too? Sorry, guys. Oh, it says a pinch of salt. Yes. Where is my salt? There. No. And it no longer has a measuring spoon in it. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to put a little bit of salt in there also, and that will be good for later. And yeah, we have the quinoa ready to warm up. We have the shrimp thawing. I'm going to cut up these sausage links, and I'm going to say I'm actually going to cut them differently than I did for the lasagna. And that to me is on purpose, just so it seems like a different thing. You know, when you're using the same foods over and over again, sometimes it can be like, oh yeah, that. So just giving it a different shape, different texture,
That's interesting.
yeah, makes a difference.
Yeah, right on.
I think it does.
Yeah. Right on. Huh.
But yeah, you can see that I didn't show you before. There's so much flavor in this sausage. It's nice. But yeah, this stir fry, you could use chicken, either already cooked and just add it at the end, or you can chop some up and add it later. And it is great like that. I'm going to get a plate for this sausage. And Marty, could you grab me my go-to tub?
Certainly.
Fantastic. Okay, now We were talking earlier about with the salad how to make sure that you're not like prepping too many vegetables, too much ingredients for this recipe. It's like I said, 2 cups of chopped fresh veggies. So you get out your measuring cup before you start and add your veggies to it, and that'll help. I sometimes also say that just having the right sized cooking tool, like the right size skillet or like the loaf pan like we had, you're less tempted to make too much if you are using the right sized tools for 2 people. You know, you get out a massive pan, well, suddenly you are chopping up, 2 bell peppers and an onion and all that stuff, and it's going to be too much. I am not going to use all that bell pepper. Going back in there. Okay, so I'm going to chop these veggies, and as I go, I'm going to be putting them in the measuring cup. We have that, the cauliflower. So you can break the cauliflower into florets, little florets, or you can slice it. I just find this faster sometimes. But Marty was saying he likes to tear it apart with his fingers. So that also is a thing that you can do here. So some cauliflower, and I want a little bit of that zucchini in here. We have the zucchini and I think some red onion. So we are building this dinner. No, that is not zucchini. That is cucumber. We are building this dinner based on what we have left over from some of the other meals that we've had and using things up. Are you eating the lasagna over there? I love it. That is so great. You're very cute. Okay, I am getting close to my 2-cup limit on here. It's really tempting, right? You want to just keep adding more and more veggies, and then you're going to end up with the leftovers. And if you're somebody who loves leftovers, that's great. I often like to have leftovers from dinner for lunch the next day. Oh, wait, I want bigger pieces of this. But, having leftovers every single day, it just becomes difficult. And I hate having to throw food down the garbage disposal or into the garbage. It really makes me unhappy. So if I have 3 containers of leftovers in the fridge, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to get to all of them. And I don't necessarily want more. I don't eat freezer leftovers very well either. I'm not good at that. I know my mom's very good at that. She gets using those freezer things. Okay, so we've got probably too much vegetables in there. No, it says it's 2.5 cups maybe. So we are good with the veggies. And I'm going to see if that shrimp is thawed. Let's find out. Yes, those are nice. Ready to go.
How can you tell nice and easy that they're nicely thawed?
Oh, I just picked it up and held it in my hand.
So
it's
squidgy. It's pliable, squidgy, yeah.
Yeah, it's pliable and squidgy and not that cold anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to, well, not going to rinse my hands off, but I'm going to get a plate and some paper towel and dry off the shrimp. They just cook better if they're not soaking wet. So, paper towel, plate, shrimp. I think I put too much paper towel. It's like I thought I had 50 shrimp instead of the little 12 that I'm doing, right? Oh well. Okay. So I'm just patting those shrimp dry. And I've got the shrimp, I've got the sausage, I've got the sauce, I've got the veggies, and we're ready to go. I'm going to just wash my hands because they have shrimp on them. And we're going to get that frying pan that you found for me. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Okay. Hands washed. And, okay, and we're going to move over to the stove. Everything for this one is done on the stovetop, and it's going to go pretty quickly once we get going. So get ready for this. Oh, are you tripping?
No. It's fine. Sun came out of it.
Oh, you're changing the Okay, yeah, so we're on stove cam. I am putting the quinoa into the microwave. I'm gonna let it heat for about a minute, and then it'll be kind of warm, and then I'll do another like 30 seconds later. We want the heat on this to be fairly high. And I'm gonna get some olive oil. I am looking for a Smilo.
Oh, okay.
Hey, here he is. Smilo the spoon. Makes me smile when I cook. And anytime I can get an extra smile, I will take it. Right? So we're heating the olive oil on there. We're gonna add the veggies and the sausage once that oil's hot. Is it gonna sizzle? Not quite. I'm gonna wait another moment. Oh yeah, it is. I don't know if they can hear the sizzling.
Yeah, I don't know if they can.
Veggies and the sausage. Oh, nice. Okay, so that is going to sizzle up for a moment, and then we'll have our shrimp thawed and ready to go on the side there. They don't take very long to cook, so they're not going to need very much. And I also have our little sauce that's going to go on there, a little lemon sauce. Oh, I forgot about the ricotta mixture. You know what? Let's do that. While these veggies are cooking, this is, here, go to the pan. This is a great way to use up the last bit of the ricotta from the container. So remember, keeping it at the top of the fridge so we remember to use it up. And there's just a little bit left in there. And maybe go to this camera. A little bit left in there. I am going to add a bit of salt right to that container. A bit of pepper.
Right into the container again.
Right into the container. Why dirty a container if you don't need to? And you know what? There is a little garlic in the sauce that we're making, but I like a little garlic powder too. I'm going to just stir these veggies real quick. Kind of doing like a saute stir fry here. Oh, it smells good. And I'm not adding salt to these because the sausage is quite salty, and there's a little salt in the sauce, and I put salt in the ricotta, so I think that's going to be enough salt in this recipe. If you didn't have this sausage, you might want to put a little salt on these veggies here. Okay, back to this ricotta. And I am running out of friends, but I found a purple one. Okay. So we're mixing this up. Now, if you didn't have ricotta, when you finish making this dinner, we're going to put this ricotta on top. You could go in with a little bit of the Parmesan cheese, mozzarella, any kind of, a little burrata on there. That would be amazing. So now this is going to be just a nice little topping to go on the veggies and quinoa. Okay, back to the stove. So we're getting some color here on these ingredients. We don't need to cook them very long. You know, by calling it a stir fry, I get away with them being tender crisp, and that's kind of the idea, right? I'm gonna see if that quinoa is hot enough. It just needs a little bit longer.
What do you mean to get away with it by calling it stir fry?
Well, stir fry is supposed to have tender, crisp vegetables.
Okay.
And so if I say this is a stir fry, then you're expecting tender, crisp vegetables, and I don't have to cook them for as long. Put the lid on. Um, get away with, I don't know why. Okay, I just added the shrimp to one side here. I'm gonna let them cook for a moment. I'm gonna give them a quick little stir. And I'm gonna mix them in with everything. And we're just cooking now until the shrimp are done. I'm gonna change to a new spoon. Different Milo. I just changed because that one had the raw shrimp, so I wanted something fresh. Okay, and that quinoa is hot and ready. I see steam. Do you see the steam?
I see it.
Okay, we've got quinoa and the shrimp are just about cooked. Okay, so now we're gonna add our sauce. Sauce is maybe the wrong word. Did I put cornstarch in here? I did not put the cornstarch in here. Come over here. This is supposed to have, I was about to tell you that the cornstarch is gonna help it thicken just a little bit and kind of coat the veggies, and then remembered that I didn't actually put the cornstarch in it. So, here we go. And now we are coming over here and adding that sauce, which is gonna thicken up real quick and coat everything. So it's not really a sauce as much as like a, I don't want to use the word glaze. Glaze implies like sweetness. I guess there was a little bit of honey, right? But yeah, kind of like a little glaze on there. Okay, and I'm turning the heat off under these veggies and bringing them over here. There, we've got it. Okay, so now we are ready to make these plates. We are, Marty, can you come hold the plate again? That worked really well last
Sure,
time.
yeah.
You hold that, and I'm going to put some hot quinoa on there. Does that seem like the right amount for you?
Sure. I mean, for a meal, perhaps. Of course, I'm full of lasagna at this point.
Oh yeah, you eat so much lasagna. Hold that for a second. Okay, and then I'm getting, here, let's trade. You put the plate down. We're gonna go with about half of this veggies and shrimp.
Some of that sauce on there.
Oh yeah, the sauce and the sausages. Seemed like about half. That's about half. Okay. Well, we could have actually put a little bit of arugula under the, I almost called it couscous, under the quinoa and used up some arugula too. You can always, and then it kind of wilts a little bit, you know? And then we are going with a couple dollops of the ricotta, about half of it on top. Stay together. Okay, that is our use it up Mediterranean stir fry. Marty, should we taste this?
Sure. Let's do it to it.
So I would have plated 2 plates of it, and we would have each had some, but he is full, so we are just, so
Stress of this.
I'm curious what you think about the ricotta on here.
Sure, fine. Let's figure out.
Shrimp. That's your ricotta face? Marty doesn't like ricotta. But you liked it in the lasagna.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I couldn't taste it at all in the pancakes. I gotta be honest. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. You get the little bit of like red pepper flake
Mm-hmm.
heat and lemoniness.
Yeah, yeah, I like it okay,
Mm-hmm.
but
This is not your favorite one.
it's not my favorite one.
Not your favorite one. I like it.
I like how meaty. Despite having a lot of vegetables in it, it's really still quite meaty. It's kind of like you're eating a jambalaya in a sense, where you
Oh,
get a piece of meat at every bite. You know.
yeah, no, it is meaty. Okay, so that is the Use It Up Mediterranean stir fry that Marty is slightly indifferent to. That's okay, honey. You don't have to like everything. Okay, where can I put? Oh, that's perfect. Okay, so that is our 4 out of 5 recipes that we have done. And I told you earlier that the 5th day I like to use, like, maybe I could do another use it up dinner because there were quite a bit of veggies. I want to find something that uses a lot of the things that I have and then maybe needs one other ingredient or two from the grocery store. In this case, we are doing some air fryer chicken fajitas.
Oh,
And when Marty goes to the grocery store that day, I would ask him to get me some chicken breast or chicken breast tenderloins if I didn't have any in the freezer, and some flour tortillas. I almost always have them because when my kids are here, they love quesadillas, and I make a lot of quesadillas. I almost always have them, but if I didn't, that would be the other main ingredient that you would need to get.
fair enough.
So we're doing peppers, onions, the chicken, all going in the air fryer together. While they're cooking, we're gonna make some toppings. We're gonna chop some tomato and some green onion, and then we're gonna have some fajitas. I think I have sour cream in the fridge. That's gonna be perfect.
Oh, true.
Yay, great. So we have everything we need for that. I'm going to take one moment to just kind of tidy up over here, and then we will dig into that last recipe.
Again, 5 recipes, you guys. So I don't cook, so seeing a person cook one recipe is kind of impressive to me. But want to like matrix out 5 recipes at once is pretty.
Yeah, it's been fun. So this one's really easy. It's chicken vitas cooked in the air fryer. It's hands off most of the time. They're all going in there at the same time. Um, I you've made this before yourself, Marty.
Fair enough.
You have.
Yeah,
Yes. When I was in Canada this year, you made it for you and Olivia.
fair enough. Yeah,
Yeah, you
yeah,
totally did. I remember.
yeah. No, it was nice and easy. It was nice and easy.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Okay, so what we're gonna do is, oh, you're on the table cam? Perfect. I'm just gonna get a bowl. Bowl. I thought I had lots of bowls ready, but there were not as many as I thought. So we are going to use up that last bit of bell pepper that we had there. And did we already go through all that red onion? Okay, we don't have that much red onion. I might save that for a salad on another day and use an actual onion. We're going to use this bell pepper. We're going to get a new bell pepper. I think I have one. Marty, can you go see if there's a bell pepper in the garage? We have a second fridge in the garage that often has extra little bits and pieces, and I think there's another bell pepper hiding in there. So he will get that for me. I am going to just wash my knife. You know, you can't see me doing this. Okay. Oh, any luck?
Yeah.
Hooray. You know what? Here, I'm cutting these into strips.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go and see. I think there's a green bell pepper.
All right. Oh yeah, there it is. Sure enough.
Perfect. Okay, so I'm doing that same bell pepper thing that my mom showed me here to get the core out easily.
Huh.
And
Push in first and then cut open. Yeah.
push it in. Yeah, it works really well.
I think I've tried it before, but I think I pushed it in after cutting it open, and it does not work nearly as well.
Yeah. Well, you know, I think there's a bunch of different ways to get into a bell pepper. But okay, we're gonna need. It's about 1 bell pepper's worth for 2 people, and we had like a third of one. So I'm going to do about 2/3 of this one. That should be good. And then this is going to go into the go-to tub. Okay, so peppers into this bowl. I'm going to grab an onion. Okay, onion. What's been your favorite dinner so far, Marty?
Today?
Yes.
Okay, actually, so I was actually surprised how much I like the lasagna. I'm
Oh,
usually not a big fan. And honestly, the pancakes were better than expected also. I do love salad, so I liked that a lot.
the
Um,
salad.
yeah. So which one was my favorite? Honestly, maybe the lasagna. I think it was the best mix of like satisfying and flavorful.
Good. I love hearing that.
The salad was very flavorful, but you know, you want something. I'm not a vegetarian, so I kind of want something a little heartier as a main course, and I think the lasagna really hit the spot.
Gotcha. I'll tell you, I was telling you, Olivia is my son's girlfriend. She had I think it was maybe the second round of testing on that loaf pan lasagna when I was developing the recipe,
Mm.
and she said it was the best lasagna she'd ever had. I know, right?
Yeah, no, that's
I
very
was
nice.
I was pretty happy with that. And now you like that one too. So everybody has to make the loaf pan lasagna recipe. Okay, so now we've got peppers and onions in here. I'm gonna get some chicken. So we're using boneless chicken tenderloins here, and a half a pound of them. We don't need the whole thing. And so they're actually, I can kind of like count how many there are and put half in a different container. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we'll go 1,
That's odd.
2. You're so funny. Oh my goodness. Did they get your joke?
Oh, I don't know. We'll know in like five. We'll know in like 6 seconds.
6, 7.
Oh, fair. Yeah.
Okay, so I've got about half the pack here. I'm gonna put those ones in the fridge if I have another use for them. Although we have so much food now, I don't think we're gonna be making anything for a little while. So these will probably end up in the freezer. And then, and you could use boneless skinless chicken breast. You could use boneless skinless chicken thigh. You just need about a half pound, and you are cutting it like this. Now, these tenderloins often have this thing in them, and you just want to cut that away. It's a little bit tough, so you don't want that. I get these, well, especially if they're on sale, but they're nice and tender and easy to work with. Well, except for this thing, which is annoying me today, but it doesn't usually bother me. There we go. Okay, so we're slicing those into kind of like 1/2 inch slices, maybe 1/3 inch. And then they are going to go right into the bowl with the peppers and onions.
Kathleen objects to 6, 7.
I understand. Okay, so that's going in there, and then I am going to wash my hands, and I'm going to get rid of this cutting board because it had the...
Chicken.
Mm-hmm.
We were at a basketball game last night, so of course there was kids doing the 6, 7.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of 6, 7 at the basketball game. We saw the Orlando Magic against the Toronto Raptors. And so I was cheering for both because I used to live in Toronto and now I live in Orlando. So I had my allegiances were torn yesterday. Okay, I'm gonna just show you guys this recipe. There's the bonus easy shop day, as I'm calling it. And I'm just turning to that now. I already knew how much of the pepper, onion, and chicken. I just wasn't sure about the other ingredients. So we're gonna need a teaspoon of chili powder. This is a teaspoon, right? I can't see close up with my glasses. No, it's a half tablespoon. I don't think that would have mattered that much. I didn't even know that I had a half tablespoon measure. Wait, is it a half teaspoon? That's a half teaspoon. Okay, so I'm going to do 2 scoops of the chili powder. And you know what? The recipe calls for half a teaspoon of cumin, but cumin is one of the things that Marty is not a huge fan of, so I'm going to skip the cumin on these ones. And we're going to do the half teaspoon of salt. Oh, yeah, the salt was clumpy in there. And what else do we have? A little bit of black pepper. It says a 1/4 teaspoon, so like that. And a teaspoon of olive oil, which is over here. I'm just going to drizzle that in about like that. Okay, let me make sure that I have everything in there. Chicken, bell pepper, onion, olive oil, chili powder, salt, no cumin, black pepper. Oh, it also says a pinch of cayenne. So that, do you want the cayenne in there?
Yeah, there's a few herbs that I do like a lot, and cayenne's one of them.
Yeah, you do like cayenne.
Yep, dill, a few others, but definitely like some cayenne.
So cayenne is pretty potent, as you probably know. So you just want to put a little bit. We're gonna just do, I'm using the back of the spoon to get that in there. Okay. So that is everything that goes in there. And you just mix that all up until it's evenly coated. And then I just got a new air fryer. My other one was a screw came loose on it, literally. And so we're trying out a new one, and I'm really liking it so far. It's the Instant Pot Vortex Plus. I'm going to point to it. It's over here. Instant Pot Vortex Plus. That's a fancy name. I know it says Instant Pot, but that's the brand.
Oh, because Instant Pot is an actual brand name.
Yeah, Instant Pot is the brand name.
Right.
But yeah, I'm liking it so far. People often ask me for my Instant Pot air fryer recommendations, and I used to have to say the one that the screw came loose on had been discontinued. So I'd say, well, the one I like best has been discontinued. There were 2 others that I was using that I didn't like as much, but this is my new kitchen replacement air fryer, and so far so good. Have you used it yet?
I haven't.
No,
I haven't.
So here, let's go back to table cam, and I've got the air fryer.
Rich inside.
Yeah, it's fancy. And we're just putting the chicken, onions, and peppers in there and kind of spreading them out. And all air fryers are a little different in how much time they take to do things. So, you know, just be aware of that. This one, for this air fryer with this amount of food, it's going to be 9 minutes about at 360 degrees Fahrenheit. And I'm not preheating it first. And they're going to be, it's just going to be perfectly cooked at that point. But I think my older one that I don't have anymore would have taken a couple of extra minutes. You're just cooking it until it starts to kind of brown at the edges and the chicken's cooked through when you cut into a piece. So that is going in there, air fry, 360. I'm telling it 30 minutes, but I'm going to pull it out before then. And 9, I'm going to, yeah, I set the timer. Perfect. Okay, so now that those are in the oven, we are in the very, very end home stretch here. So we are going to just do some toppings, some tomatoes, avocado if you have, and green onions, that kind of thing to have in our flour tortillas. And that's going to be all 5 dinners.
Impressive.
I'm not exhausted, actually. I think this has gone okay.
Okay.
You doing okay? I need a new cutting board because that one had the chicken on it. Come over here. Can you do table cam? Thank you, thank you.
No problem.
And I don't think I have a tomato in my go-to tub at this point, so I'm getting out a new one. And, oh, do you guys have trouble with these stickers? I hate them. Okay. So, and I need a new knife also. Oh, good. Wash the tomato. Thanks, Marty.
Yeah, sure.
Very helpful. Okay, so I'm probably going to use about half of this. I don't need the whole thing, so the other half. Oh, that was another Canadian soap. I'm out of sandwich bags. Hang on a moment. The other half is going to go in my go-to tub. I'm telling you guys, if you start doing the go-to tub, you are going to love it. You pull it out, and it's got so much that you need. And then when you're cleaning up after you're done doing your chopping, everything goes into the bin and away. So good. So I'm just dicing up this tomato. You know, to cut skin side down when you're doing tomatoes, because the pressure of the knife against the cutting board cuts through the skin better. Whereas if you, well, now I don't have one to demonstrate, but if you're going through the skin, it
squishes the
squishes the tomato and doesn't get through as much. So yeah, you want the skin down. It's the same for bell peppers too, actually.
Huh.
You learn something new every day, Marty.
That's really life.
I guess you've learned lots of things today.
Fair.
Well, that's exciting. Okay, I am going to put these tomatoes on this plate here. And we're going to do some green onion. That's also in my go-to tub. Yeah, I'll tell you, there are always green onions in my go-to tub. And I use the greens for things like we're having today with tacos. I use the ends in place of onions in a lot of recipes. Just like chop those whites up and you can start your spaghetti sauce or stir fry. Those are great in like the Mediterranean or a real Asian stir fry too. I'm just gonna rinse these. Yeah, I always have green onions. I've tried sort of half growing them in, I wonder if people have done this. You put like water and just those white sort of hairy ends into, you put the white hairy ends into a glass of water and the greens will keep growing.
It's actually a great little science experiment for kids.
Yeah, it's fun. The water gets kind of murky though. I'm always a little unsure if that fits the best.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how good the green onions are, but it is really cool to watch them grow.
Yeah, no, it's
They grow up. Yeah, they don't need much. They just need water and air.
Yeah, and they go real fast. Okay, so just a little bit of green onions. Again, I'm trying to be mindful of the fact that I'm just making enough for 2 people. So it's not a ton of green onions like I would do if my kids were here.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for visiting. One of our visitors is saying goodbye. So.
Oh, okay.
But yes, please. It's been wonderful to have you.
Did you want to go on face cam?
Oh yeah, sure. Oh yes. Sorry, I was waving to the off camera. Thank you very much.
Good. Yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Hope you guys learned a lot of things. Okay, I was thinking, avocado. So you probably don't want avocado in your tacos, but I'm gonna find the avocado. There's a sliced one of it. So obviously, if this had been a few days, the avocado would not be in such good shape. So you got to use them before they start turning brown. I know there are lots of tips for having them not go brown.
Like lemon juice or something? Or...
Lemon juice. Sometimes people put some like olive oil on them. You're basically trying to not let the air get at them because the air oxidizes them.
Right. Oh. Right.
This air fryer. Okay. The air fryer was beeping because it was preheated, but since I wasn't preheating it, I just had to tell it to continue on. So I'm chopping the avocado this time. So we're going to have those fajitas that have the chicken, onions, and peppers, and we're going to have them in flour tortillas with tomatoes and green onions, and I'm going to have avocado on mine, and we're also going to warm up some flour tortillas, and that's going to be dinner. And they only need another 3 minutes. One of the great things about this recipe is the time it takes the chicken and peppers to cook is how long it takes the other ingredients to get ready. So really handy. So I have flour tortillas. Some people prefer corn. We prefer flour usually. How many would you have, Marty?
On a normal day, 3. Today, maybe 1.
Okay, I'm gonna make 3 so we can see what we're doing.
What a normal portion would be. Yeah, 2, maybe 3, but usually 3
Okay.
would be a nice serving.
Great. So the way that I heat up tortillas, so I would do 6 if it was both of us eating. So I'll do 6 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They go on a plate. I kind of like fan them a little bit. And then on top goes a damp paper towel. So just regular paper towel. I'm going to moisten it. You can't see me doing that, but that's okay. Not like sopping wet, just a little damp. It's not dripping at all. Okay. And that is going to go on top. And then we're going to heat those for about 30 seconds right when the chicken's done. And they're going to be warm and they're going to stay warm under this paper towel for the few seconds it takes to get everything kind of ready to go.
Yeah, and the paper towel keeps them from drying out.
Yes, exactly. Yes, thank you. The paper towel is what keeps them from drying out. So I don't need the go-to tub anymore because that was our last recipe that we're making.
Fair.
So,
For today.
you know what? Let's look and see what's left in here. That oh yeah, go from this camera. So if we were gonna build out another thing to make, oh, these carrots, nobody wants to eat these carrots. Okay, there's some green onion, there's half a cucumber, there's a third of a bell pepper and half of a tomato, and a little bit of zucchini. So I would probably think, oh, and there's the cauliflower. A lot of this is still good, of course, well, because we're all doing it all on the same day. But there's enough for another salad, for sure. Enough for another salad day, and probably for like a stir fry. You could do like an actual Asian, like Chinese stir fry. Doesn't really matter which variety you want to do. It really depends on the sauces and other ingredients. But there's definitely ingredients to do something like that as well. So,
and of course the purpose is to get, so you put all your half-used vegetables in there, so those get used first before you start opening the new one.
Yeah, absolutely. You're putting your half-used veggies in here, so you use those first. So you use them first, and you don't accidentally cut into a new bell pepper or something, right?
Right.
But it's also so that you remember what's already cut into. Most produce, as you guys know, once you cut into it, it starts to deteriorate more quickly. So you want to keep your whole things whole for as long as possible. Make sure you're using these things, and then use this as your inspiration for other meals. That's the kitchen timer. And then you have kind of these two things together. If you're actually part of the COOKforTWO.us membership community, you'll see we have a fridge reset where we talk about the go-to tub and we talk about the use first zone and how you can use those two things together to come up with your meal ideas. So you're always going to have well, there's nothing there right now because we used the ricotta and we used the chicken sausage and we got out the sour cream for the tacos. There is some prosciutto here and I have some chicken broth from the other day also that I'm using up. What's happening?
Just brightening it a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Kittens aren't outside.
But yeah, you use your go-to tub. I'm not on the screen. You use your go-to tub and your use first zone to figure out what to make next. And it's very handy and you have less waste in the end is the idea. Okay, so these, I'm gonna put the tortillas on for 30 seconds and this chicken has been in here for 9 minutes. Let's go to table cam. Looks pretty good, right?
Yeah, nice and golden brown.
Yeah, golden brown. I'm gonna, of course, just cut into a piece of the chicken and make sure that it's done. Now, this is a non-stick surface in here, so I want to be careful using these metal things, but yes, that is completely cooked through. So we can go into there and we've got the chicken, we've got our toppings, and we've got our lightly warmed tortillas under their paper towel, and we can build the tacos, tortillas, fajitas. I'm calling them fajitas.
Fajitas.
Air fryer chicken fajitas. Okay, Marty.
All right. Oh, is that big storm finally starting?
Oh, it is super my mom would call it a monsoon, and not a real
It
monsoon,
is
but
blustery. I just learned
blustery.
the definition of that word the other day.
So we're gonna put some chicken and peppers in there, and we can go with some tomatoes for you and some green onion for you. And do you want some sour cream?
No, thank you.
No? Well, now that is your tortilla. I'm gonna make myself one, and we are gonna taste these. See how they turned out. I'm gonna, of course, have the avocado on mine.
I'm gonna maybe add a little salsa to mine.
Oh, good idea. We almost always do have salsa. Marty is a big salsa fan. I don't like it as much. You know, my parents, in one of their restaurants used to make a homemade salsa that they served at the restaurant, and I think it ruined me for all other salsas. It was so good that it was the only salsa I like. And now I don't. I guess I could get the recipe from my mom and make it myself, but I don't. Okay, and I'm gonna put a little sour cream on mine, and I think we go to face cam now.
Yep.
Okay, last meal.
Cheers.
Cheers. I took too big of a bite.
By the way, it sounds really ominous. Last meal.
Mm.
Last meal of the show.
Last meal of this one. It's good, right?
Yes, it is good. It is good. Yeah, chicken's nice and tender. Everything's nice and cooked through. I like the.
We could have added some of the mozzarella cheese.
Mm-hmm.
It would have tasted really nice in here too.
Mm-hmm.
Use that up. That's
Wait.
what I'm missing, a little bit of cheese.
Oh, fair. Cheese would have been good. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna get cheese and I'm gonna have another bite.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I don't know where the cheese is.
Would have been good as a lettuce wrap, also perhaps. But of course less satisfying as a lettuce wrap.
We have the tiniest little bit of
Mexican
cheese. You like this one?
I do.
Do you want some in yours?
It's a blend of mystery cheeses.
A blend of mystery cheeses. No, I think it says on it what it is.
Oh, fair. Monterey Jack, mozzarella, cheddar.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so good. Okay, well, are you going to take one more bite there?
Mm-hmm.
Good?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I want to say a huge thank you for watching. This was our first Cook for Two live. If you want to get those recipes in the meal plan, cookthestory.com/sample. If you want to be part of our membership community, COOKforTWO.us. We're going to be doing these for members only, some live cooking demos, and just more great recipes, more meal plans, more helping each other out, and feeling like great cooking again with all the strategies, less waste, tips for what to buy, how to use things up. That's what we're going to be doing. So come find us, COOKforTWO.us. And thanks so much for watching.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for doing this with me, Marty.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, you've got taco on your face. Bye, everyone.